Hey everybody, and welcome to episode 18 of the Deadly Gloomhaven digital playthrough series. In this episode, we do all of our level ups that we didn't do before because we kind of finished in a bit of a hurry last time. But we also go to Shrine of Strength, and we also go to Lair of the Unseeing Eye, which is the first kind of boss mission, or one of the first kind of boss missions on that run towards the end of the game. So we did Shadow Weld, and now we've got Lair of the Unseeing Eye. We're kind of moving towards the end now. I think I would like to potentially retire this particular party and maybe go with a new party into the last one, like get at least one more party out of this playthrough before we finish. But we are starting to get towards the end now. And actually what we do at the end of this scenario is we do actually do a bit of fun with Lair of the Unseeing Eye. We have a bit of fun at the end of the episode. So yeah, check out the end of this if you'd like to see some of the more, let's say, unbalanced parts of Gloomhaven. Okay, let's just get straight into the episode. So picking up where we left off, we had... we basically leveled up on everybody. We came back. We didn't have any time really to do all of that stuff at the end of the last session because we were straight into the Q&A. So we will start today with doing all of our level ups and our city event, and then we'll go on a quest. I'm not sure exactly which one we're going to go for today, so we'll figure that out in the meantime. But let's do our leveled ups. Level 8, so we've got Bonebreaker and a Vengeful Barrage. I don't think I particularly love either of these two cards. I think Vengeful Barrage is kind of interesting because it works really nicely with Flurry of Axes. It's a very much like an all-in Flurry of Axes type card. Try and get an extra +1 on all of your attacks. Consume that fire. But then it makes the initiative really awkward for that round, because then you got like 38 and Flurry of Axes like 27. I always like to do these kinds of effects when I can go super early and really capitalize on them. And I don't think 38 or 27 really does it. So it probably would be 27. And really you need boots to make it a little bit better. You know, the move forward doesn't have jump on it either. So then you need to kind of like, do I need to get boots of winged shoes instead to get some jump? Some way to kind of get in the middle, because you want to have some really nice positioning too. Hey, Pumbaa. I think Phantom gifted you a sub, buddy. Very kind of them. So, yeah, it's very, it seems really good. It's kind of like it's very win more, which is kind of like an expression that I always remember from my time playing Magic or other kind of games like that, where you're kind of already winning, like getting yourself into a good position with Flurry of Axes, being strengthened and attacking everything with like blood packed up or with items and power potions, and you're already sinking a lot into it. Feels very much like, you know, they're already dead. Do you really need that extra +1? How many things is this really going to... What is this going to help kill that the other cards don't kill, you know? It feels really awkward at times. So, got any rings for Zerka? I don't think so, no. I think we have Ring of Haste unlocked on this save, I think we have Ring of Haste unlocked on this save. Not much more than that. It's difficult. The top of Vengeful Barrage is not very good either, really. I always found that I could never quite make this work right with Blood Pact. I'd end up just taking the point of damage and have nothing to attack with Blood Pact, and then it kind of doesn't work. In theory, it should be really good if you can get it to work on schedule. But I seem to struggle to get that to work more often than not. And also, Blood Pact is the kind of card that you play early, and you want to kind of play it for a little while, and then you might even end up having to be forced to discard it because the health drain is too much for you. So at a certain point, you might want to get rid of it, and you don't really want to burn like Blood Pact and this, and I don't know, it's... Your hand starts to get a bit sketchy. I don't think it's bad by any means. I just think it's one of those kind of cards where it's like you're already doing really well. Do you really need another card that's going to do that? If we could reliably make the top trigger when we wanted it, then it would be, yeah, it'd be pretty good. But Unfortunately not. And also, we take the damage before we do the actions, right? So, for example, if we were to do Strength and Agony for a move, we have to take the damage before we do the move. So then that would trigger Vengeful Barrage before we move, which is, again, a little bit awkward. So it's just there's a couple of instances where the top of this just doesn't quite work exactly how you want it to. And then you'll end up losing maybe 2 charges. And then does it become that good with just 3 charges? I still think it's probably decent, but is it really that good if you don't get all 5 charges? And sometimes against certain enemy types, right, you don't want to use this at all because they might have Retaliate, and you don't want to do an attack 3 into Retaliate. You want to do like an attack 3 into a Retaliate 4 or 5. Bonebreaker is a lot more kind of just good. It's just straight up good. The attack 5, wound and immobilize is pretty much the only decent kind of control his character gets later on. You've got like a lot of stun to begin with, but that all kind of costs you health to use. Doesn't cost you any health to use. It's a decent attack. You can use it to immobilize some sort of melee enemy and then potentially move away. I've always found that immobilize on melee attacks has always been more awkward than you really would like, because it does really encourage you to attack something and run away. But it is a good mix of abilities, and it makes fire. The bottom is also situationally pretty good on this card. Attack 3, range 4, target can no longer fly, which sounds like, well, what does that matter? But certain enemies just being able to either, if you're doing some invisibility cheese, being able to kind of ignore that and move through you, or if there's loads and loads of traps, you could just drop an enemy onto a trap. That can be really useful too. So I actually don't mind Bonebreaker too much. Kind of on the fence about both of these cards. I think I'll probably just take Bonebreaker here. It's either that or we go back and take... maybe we go back and take like Careless Charge. Just for certain scenarios in which the ignore negative conditions are just really good. Certain enemy types and certain scenarios, that's just really good. With Bonebreaker, what happens if you shoot a flying enemy that is over an obstacle? Are they stuck forever? I think that there is a weird FAQ rule about that, in which that they would move to an adjacent hex that is not obstructed. There is some kind of weird rule about that. I don't know how they handle that in digital, though. I have to be honest. My experience of playing Bonebreaker is quite limited in digital. But I believe there is an FAQ that says something to the effect of that they would have to be moved to a hex not containing an obstacle anymore. Do I think they'll add more patches / content for this game, or will it remain mirrored to the board game? In what sense? You mean additional stuff that's not in the board game? I think that they'll probably just continue to do... I mean, they've got the DLC, Jaws of the Lion, right? I think that they'll probably just continue to do that kind of stuff. They have said that they have mentioned before in Q&As that they were interested in doing their own stuff, but I don't really know how long they're continuing to do support for the game for. When is enough, I guess. It's kind of like the thing. They've got one big DLC coming, Jaws of the Lion, which is a lot of content. It's a big DLC. It's not an easy, small undertaking, I would say. And then you've got, potentially you've got other DLCs that they could easily do, like, well, I say easily, but they could do like Forgotten Circles. Like, you've got other physical game options that they could do. So, I don't know. And maybe Guildmaster mode could get fleshed out a little bit more. They could maybe add some stuff to Guildmaster. That's kind of like their mode. Who knows? Let's take Bonebreaker. I think we'll take Bonebreaker just because I'm interested now to see if we can break it, but also I think it would be it's actually probably just the better card in general here. The safer card at least. Let's get rid of Dazing Wound. I think I only bought that in for one scenario earlier anyway. To be honest, I've got a lot of cards here that are just not making the cut, haven't I? Now. Could argue that Cauterize is just no good anymore. I think I bought that in for some ranged enemies, didn't I? And from the brink as well. Yeah, these were 2 cards that just came in for the last scenario, right? I believe. Yeah, because I took Blood Pact out. Okay, so we bring this out, we bring this, and we get this. I want spiked armor back. Give me spiked armor. Fatal Fury or spiked armor? Fatal Fury's been pretty decent. Maybe I'll just take spiked armor here. I don't like the fact that I do not have a ranged attack, really. A top ranged attack. I think Break the Chains has to come back in somehow. Yeah, I don't like any of these, really, but there you go. Let's leave it like that. This is the problem with this character is you have too many cards that you want to play. I feel like maybe you could get rid of Resolute Stand. One of these 2 cards maybe could hit the deck. You could argue maybe Bounce Back, but that just one heal does surprisingly a lot of work on this character, just to kind of keep you topped up. Mitigate. If you're playing Blood Pact, it really does help. You could say that maybe Defiance of Death can go, because it's only an attack 5. Maybe. Whereas these things are generally a little bit better. I wonder what would happen if I just did this. 14, 16. It just feels like a really bad initiative. Let's do this. We'll try it like this. We'll try it like this. Orlando Doom. Very fun to push a flying enemy into traps too. Yeah, it would be quite cool. I guess if I'm playing that, then maybe I should play Break the Chains, right? Because you kind of want to drop them and then pull them immediately, actually. That's quite a nice combo. Because you can use the bottom to attack them and take away the flying. And then you can use the top on the same turn to just pull them. So actually, maybe that's just a good 2-card pairing. That's enough to make both of them kind of warranted. All right. Rising Momentum or Feral Instincts. So Rising Momentum, attack 6, range 5, push 3, 2 XP, burn. Really, really dislike the top of this card. Level 8, and the best we can muster up is an attack 6, range 5, push 3. Like, the push 3 feels almost kind of irrelevant here. Like, it just feels very tacked on. We can already attack for an absolute bunch because of our dooms. Yes, we can make this a really, really powerful attack. We really can. You know, we could use Expose to get advantage. We can use the dooms to increase this. We can use our other cards, bottom cards, to maybe increase it. There's a lot of potential to do a huge attack with Rising Momentum, more so than some other characters. Like, you know, sometimes you get the Brute with an attack like this. It's like attack 6 and it's a burn. Or attack 8 and it's a burn. It's really, really bad value. But honestly, even on a character like this who has the ability to really make this count and potentially kill something very quickly with it, I still don't think the value's there. Because all you're doing is changing your clock from maybe 2 rounds to 1 round. And I don't think that's worth a burn. I feel like burns have to have such an impact on your game that they either fundamentally are required for your character to operate, or they speed up your clock. They advance your clock so fast that they're just worth the trade-off. So that's like Fury of Axes, right? That has an inbuilt feature that you can kill stuff so fast that it buys your team like 4 or 5 rounds of play, because you would not have to spend all of that time taking damage, going around dealing with them. It just gives you such a leg up, and I don't think that this really does that. Go back for the Toad. We may end up going back for the Toad here. The bottom is Doom. Mark 1 enemy as doomed. 12 initiative as well. Actually, 12 initiative is pretty good. We'd probably take a 12. So Doom, if this enemy dies within range 2 of another enemy, transfer this and any other Doom effects to that enemy instead of discarding them. So this bottom half of this card is part of the double Doom combo, which is with Inescapable Fate. So you use Inescapable Fate. One of your Dooms will be the bottom of Rising Momentum, And then the other doom is whatever your choice is. A lot of people just use Race to the Grave because it's just a really simple, easy one to do. Then essentially you put this and Race to the Grave on, and then hopefully it will continually spread around and kill things. Importantly, when you're doing this as well, this is one of the only characters that really needs to focus so much on standee numbers because of this effect. Because if you manage to put this on the lowest value standee number, let's say you put it on skeleton number 1, you put it on skeleton number 1, you have Race to the Grave on it, does 2 damage, skeleton number 1 dies, it will transfer to skeleton number 2 if that was within range 2. Then skeleton number 2 will have its turn, it will take the 2 damage, and then that could potentially die, then skeleton number 3, right? So you need to make sure that you really are focused on the standee numbers more than like any other character really with this kind of strategy. Probably the only character that really cares that much about the standee numbers, but it can matter a lot with the order that the monsters take their turns when you're going for the double doom strategy. I personally feel like it's cute and it's a bit of fun, but it's not particularly strong, so I don't play it. But this is 100% like one of the core pieces of this build if you wanted it. Hey, Iron and Wine, how's it going, buddy? Feral Instincts is move 2, attack 3, loot 1, 35 initiative, and move 3, heal 4 self. I'm not a huge fan of Feral Instincts in particular. I think the top's actually kind of okay because yes, it's a melee attack, but just getting a little bit of move in, maybe finish something off, then get to loot. Hopefully, if you've killed it. Also, you still get the benefits of the dooms. You don't need to be doing a ranged attack to get the benefit of a doom. You can do a standard attack and get the benefit of a doom. So the idea would be that you could potentially make this attack 3 something decent with like rain of arrows, for example. Even though it makes no sense, you could in theory have rain of arrows on there, and that would work. So I don't mind the top of Feral Instincts. I actually think it's pretty useful to be able to move, maybe finish off an enemy, get some loot along the way without giving up too much of your turns. Also allows you to doom and move an attack in the same turn too. So that's also pretty decent. The bottom, move 3, heal 4 self, I think is just fine. You kind of already have this effect really on a moment's peace. So that's why I don't really like the bottom of Feral Instincts, because I feel like we already have that ability and we've spent some gold on enhancing it. So I don't really see the bottom to be that useful. We're also a character that shouldn't really get hurt. Shouldn't. Sometimes it might happen, but really you probably shouldn't get hurt. But I don't mind the top. So really this is going to come down to, for us, there's not really any two really strong cards for our build here that we're like super excited about. I think Feral Instincts is probably the better of the 2 cards for us. But Crashing Wave is not particularly great, so we don't want to go back for that. Impending End is actually pretty decent, so we could go back and take this. I think, what did we take before? What was that, level 7? We took... Did we go back and take a 6 or something? Or did we take a 2? What did we do? Oh, we went and took Darkened Skies, didn't we? We went back and took Darkened Skies because we wanted another AoE because we were just struggling a little bit with our multi-targets. So I think Impending End would be a very good way, very good thing to go back for. Absolutely. Nature's Hunger, one of my favorite summons, but unfortunately not great. It would be good to get back for Toad. I think we'll probably go back for Impending End here. It's either that or we just slam Feral Instincts, but I quite like Impending End, so I think I'm going to go back and take that. It's close, though. I think Feral Instincts is a fine pick there. Bearing in mind that we have picked a little bit out of order with this build because we kind of passed over Darkened Skies at 3 and then regretted it, so we ended up kind of going back. So our build order is a little bit odd, I would say. Is that everything? I feel like I'm missing something here. Am I missing something? I feel like I need one more... I've not got Exposed. Yeah, I have got Exposed. Yeah, there you go. I thought I was missing something there. Yeah, Exposed. Thanks. Yeah, Exposed. How are we doing, actually? It feels like maybe we've turned the corner here. Do we have too many attacks now and not enough dooms? Got Darkened Skies. We can actually use this as the doom. This is a burn top. So that's 1 doom, maybe? 2 dooms, 3 dooms. I actually don't know if I like multi-pronged assault here. I might just go for detonation instead, you know. All allies add +1 attack. I mean, it does work quite well with the bear. Could be an additional 3, couldn't it? But detonation is also just really cool. Let's get detonation a go. Let's get detonation a go. Only problem being that multi-pronged is actually a fairly usable top in a pinch, whereas detonation really is not. It is purely for this, and that is that. Probably will end up being like the first card that we burn in our rests. Add 1 +1 poison. Rolling targets. Rolling targets are never bad. There's free damage, really. Go for that. Just free damage. On to Claw Patrol. Level 8. So we've got Lash Out and we got Natural Remedy. So Lash Out. Attack 4. Target all adjacent enemies. Command. Really, really nice attack, actually. Really, really good. Non-burn as well. Really good. 18 initiative as well. Pretty nice initiative. Would maybe like it to be a little bit lower, but good. Definitely still good. Move 3, push 2, target all adjacent enemies. Also just really good. I have no questions. Like, if you're playing the bear build, this is 100% the card that you get here. It is so strong for the bear. Just lots of utility. Being able to move it, push things around. Really good. Really, really good. Natural Remedy is heal 5, range 3. We can consume air to get a +1 heal, +1 range. Move 4, strengthen, affect 1 adjacent ally. This is kind of a bad card. It's kind of a bad card. Heal 5 is good, right? That's a decent amount of heal, definitely. It's not a bad amount of heal. The problem is with heals, though, as always, as I always say, I like little and often. I like little and often multi-target heals. I find to be really useful. I quite rarely want to just heal something up for an absolute bunch. The reason why I like little and often is because you're going to get poisoned. So that's going to ruin your day regardless. So it feels generally less bad to lose like a heal 2, target 2 or something like that to heal off a poison. Doesn't feel so bad. So poison is a thing that exists and quite often gets in the way. So I don't like big heals for that. But also I like the versatility of just being able to heal up everybody a little bit, spread my damage around a little bit more. Don't have to worry so much about just healing that one tank. I think if you're playing in 2-player though, things are slightly different. Because in 2-player, I think you can more heavily use big heals because you're only going to have maybe one buddy that you need to worry about. So there's less kind of, you don't need to worry so much about spreading your heals out. I think it becomes a bit more single target focus. But in 3 or 4, and especially with us, because we've essentially got 4, right? Because we've got the bear too. There's lots of things we'd rather kind of heal. So I think for this, we probably don't want it. The bottom move 4 strengthen would be incredible if it wasn't for the fact that there's, you know, ways to self-strengthen in this game. Which this will be like a top tier card in Frosthaven, but unfortunately in Gloomhaven not so much. Why would you run anything but the bear build? Well, I'm running the active build, JC, because it's stronger at higher levels of difficulty, in my opinion. Because the bear can get a little bit distracted, and the bear sometimes struggles to deal with enemies, and it becomes a lot easier, in my opinion, to play the Beast Tyrant as more of a support character than it is to play them as a kind of a damage dealer in these kinds of situations at high difficulty. Maybe the situation would be a bit different if I had another support character here. So if we had Music Note, for example, another character who can actually support really, really strongly, then I could probably lean into that build a bit more and probably still have decent success because it does have a very good damage output. But I think that when you're building a team in Deadly, with the amount of damage that I've got coming from these two, I don't really need that much of a contribution here. So it's much better for me to actually play a more active kind of support build on this character. Yeah, I actually really like it, JC. I think it's my favorite. It's my favorite build right now with this character because you just feel a lot more involved in the game, but maybe it takes away some of the more unique features of the character, which is the bear and being able to control it. It does take a little bit of that away, but I really like the flexibility that it gives you. I think it allows you to have a lot more success at higher levels of difficulty with less risk. So what do we take here? That's the big question. What do we take here? I'm actually kind of tempted to go for something like Blood Hunger here. Natural Remedy, it's still usable. It's not unusable, but it does feel a little bit at odds. Strengthening an ally up, really we want to be... We've got Exposed, so we're going to be pretty much strengthened all the time here anyway, so we don't have to worry about that. In terms of the Berserker, that is something that we could potentially strengthen up. We don't have the gold to get that strength enhancement yet, but we are well on our way, so I don't think we're necessarily going to see the benefit of this. It is just a move 4 though, so it would allow us to get rid of something like Relentless Ally and just play this. So maybe that's good on a 25 initiative. Maybe I'll just take it just as a move 4. It does replace the move 5, which with a better ability and a better initiative and a usable top that might come in handy at some point. Maybe I'll just take Natural Remedy then. Because I'm not a huge fan of everything else, apart from the bottom of Lash Out. I think it's really good here. But I need to keep my tops free for my control abilities. So I need to keep my tops free for Ancient Ward. So I can't get too invested in tops like the top of Lash Out, because I'm just not going to have a good space to play it. I'm never going to be in a position where I'm really happy to play Lash Out. So I think I'm just going to go for Natural Remedy. It's safer, it's easier, it's a like-for-like change. I don't have to worry too much. But I in general, I dislike the top of this card. And the bottom, I think, is you can deal without it. You can just kind of make this effect yourself through your other characters and items. So, but it does something for us. Hey, Page Mustard. How many hours do I have of Gloomhaven? You started playing the tabletop version 2 weeks ago, and you're overwhelmed by the amount of content in this game. I think I'm now up to, in digital... I am now up to... Quick Steam page check, chat. Over 1,600 hours in digital. I've been streaming digital for nearly 3 years. In terms of physical, I completed the physical game too before digital. That's probably maybe 200 to 300 hours on top of that, if you were to count that, I guess. So yeah, fair bit. Hey, no problem, Page Mustard. Glad you find the videos helpful. And I hope you're enjoying the game in general. Right. Good. I'm really happy with that. I think that was some good reasoning as to why we picked those cards. Oh, we still have a perk to pick. Another rolling stun. Yes, please. Okay, let's do a sitting encounter, chat. Get ready to vote. Get your votes in. I really wish Twitch remembered to save these polls. Option 1 or option 2? So, you are walking across the silent bridge, headed towards the Sleeping Lion to get a quick meal, when you see a quattrel standing in front of a small cart laden with plates of food and curious contraptions. Come, try the delicacies of the East, the quattrel barks. Food enhanced with science. Flavors beyond your wildest imagination. Do we option 1, stop and try the food? Or do we option 2, continue on our way to a less adventurous meal? Not too bad on playtime. Plus the game is longer if you're bad like me and take an hour to take a turn. That's true. I mean, you can get a lot of value out of it, right? There is still things that I have not seen and done in the game. Like, I've played the game that much, and there are still certain things that I have not tried. And I think that will show you. Like, there's a couple of scenarios that I've just never played because of the way, like, either my decisions that I make with certain scenarios and stuff like that. There is some, or weird random event missions that I've just never drawn from the random event deck and stuff like that. Like, there is still like 1 or 2. Not many, but there's still 1 or 2 that I haven't played. Option 1. Stop and try the food. Good choice, everybody. You decide to indulge in the unknown and see what the Quattrel is offering. He looks very pleased at your approach and instructs you to inhale a tube of vapors, then take a bite from a bowl full of tiny golden spheres.
Spicy.
It's a little bit spicy. As the spheres melt in your mouth, the taste mixes with the aroma of the vapors to create a wonderful experience. You pay what you can, but the Quattrel seems solely focused on how much you enjoyed the meal. 3 gold each, and you have been blessed. That's a very cheap bless. We will take that. Very good. Hey, Bluegrass. New on my Twitch channel, but you learned a lot from my YouTube videos. Awesome, dude. Well, welcome. Welcome to the live stream. Glad you enjoyed the videos. Glad you found them helpful. All right, so today, what mission are we going to go and do? We've got a couple that we could do. I do want to advance the save a little bit more. Should we do a boss mission today? We could go do the Sightless Eye. The thing is with boss, we have such a good team for killing bosses. It's not even funny. Like, our team will melt boss missions, and I'm a bit concerned that perhaps that would be too easy for us at this point in time. I'd rather kind of, you know, play with the characters a little bit more. We've got, we're on our way with this. Not too bad with our retirement goal here. Kill 20 elite monsters. We're on our way. Not too bad. And complete 1 quest in each area of the map. Oh, here we go. Here's one that we can immediately try and do then. Lingering Swamp or Watcher Mountains. I don't think... Do we have one in the Watcher Mountains? Oh, no, we don't. But Lingering Swamp, maybe? Is this the swamp? Where's the swamp? Is this the swamp? Oh, here down. Oh, we've completed them all. That's a bit of a shame. Okay. Well, maybe not then. Maybe we will go and do a boss mission. Or we could go do Shine of Strength, which is a pretty hard mission that I think I failed one time before. Either that or we go Echo Chamber. Similar kind of deal. Oozing Grove. We're not doing Oozing Grove. I do think we have a good team for it. Maybe we'll do Oozing Grove next week, because we do have a good team. And we're going to be probably level 9 by the end of next week. So maybe Oozing Grove can be the one. Has anyone ever tried using the Give MQ a challenge before? And if so, for what? There's been some interesting ones over the years. I've had silly ones, like where I had to like speak in rhymes for an entire scenario. Or was it like a couple of rounds, or for 5 minutes or something? Had one where I could only use the bottom of cards as default move 2s, and I wasn't allowed to use any move items. That was fun. That was basically just moving through treacle the entire scenario. Generally speaking, as long as it sounds fun, I'll probably accept it. As long as it sounds like it's like a fun thing to try out. Let's do Shrine of Strength. I feel like doing a side quest today. And then we'll do a boss mission afterwards.
Nestled in a high valley deep in the Copperneck Mountains, this shrine is not easily found or accessible.
Do I know another good board game RPG as good as this one to recommend? Frosthaven. Well, when it's out, hopefully, yeah. It depends, really, because like this, Gloomhaven is very particular. It's quite a low... I would say it's quite a low luck game compared to a lot of other kind of board games that have this, like the dungeon crawling RPG elements of it. I quite like Imperial Assault, which is the Star Wars version of Descent. So if you wanted to go for, like, I guess more of a traditional dice rolling style dice chucker of a dungeon crawler, Imperial Assault or Descent, not bad options. A lot of people like those. Which are down there. I actually haven't really played much Descent, but I've played quite a lot of Imperial Assault. Other dungeon crawlers, I've heard Sword and Sorcery is good. Haven't played it myself though, but I have heard that's good. I don't think there's anything else. Comes off the top of my head. Lord of the Rings, good one. There you go. That's another one. Yeah, Lord of the Rings, the new Lord of the Rings game. I think that's a little bit different with the app and stuff as well. But I mean, Descent uses an app now too. So, okay, another vote, chat. I actually really want to try the Lord of the Rings one. I nearly bought it last year at UK Games Expo. I was so close. There was only one stand that had a copy of it, and I saw it, and it was a game that I was looking for while I was there to hopefully just try and play a little bit. And nobody had it to demo. Nobody had it in like the library or anything. And there was only one stand that had one copy of the game. And the guy, you know, and the price that the guy was asking for was a little bit above retail price, but it's a show and it was like an independent retailer, so it's understandable. And I was so close to buying it, but if it wasn't for the fact that because I'd spent the whole time kind of going around and I'd bought a load of other stuff, my funds were looking, I was like, well, I probably shouldn't spend that much money on a new game. I'd already bought a couple of games already, so I was sensible. But I do kind of regret that because I would really want to give it a go. Right, so you see a lone wagon off to the side of the road up ahead. You approach cautiously. As you near, a jovial man with a wide hat waves at you. Ho there, I don't suppose you have any expertise in fixing a broken axle. The road wasn't even that bumpy, and then bam! The man claps his hands together. Just splits in half. I need to have all these goods up north in 2 days, and I'm just at a loss at how to get myself out of this pickle. Do we option 1 attempt to help the man with his axle problem, or option 2 tie up the man and take all of the goods he is so concerned about? Nice. Option 1, just about. That was close. You happily agree to help the man, but quickly realize you don't know what you're doing. The man thanks you anyway, and you move on. I guess we needed like the Tinkerer or someone there. You played Imperial Assault a few times, then a certain disease hit.
Lies on the edge of a giant frozen lake, surrounded by ancient towering trees.
That's my story of
the structure stone
Forgotten Circles.
Are innumerable symbols of power and strength, but you cannot determine whether the shrine was dedicated to some specific entity.
I have a merc that is good with axe, the souls.
Concept of strength.
Very clever.
You enter through the large stone doors.
You're not wrong.
Hoping to find something within that increases your own power. As you walk along the entryway, you see a number of runic inscriptions carved into the walls. They're hard to make out, but you believe they profess an ideology of strength begets strength. In order to increase one's own strength, one must first demonstrate strength. You open the next set of doors and come face to face with that ideology in practice. A powerful savas materializes in front of you and wordlessly begins to channel a destructive force in your direction. You will need to prove yourself to get at whatever is in this temple.
Get out of my way, give me the loot. I'm a Simon Dissenter, but you enjoy the Zombicide games, Mice and Mystics or Massive Darkness also. Yeah, I mean, I don't like them as a company now more than ever, but I played Zombicide. It's okay. I think it's a very pure version of just like throwing dice and kind of like a beer and pretzel game. I don't think it's not a campaign game, right? I mean, I guess you can play versions of it as a campaign, but I've never really seen it as that. I've seen it more as like a beer and pretzels, like kind of one-shot style game. But there's lots of content there. There's loads of different boxes and stuff. The problem with Zombicide for me is that it's quite luck-based, and I don't know how I would feel about that over a long period of time. I don't mind it just, you know, having a beer and chucking some dice and having some fun. And it doesn't matter if, you know, my buddy gets all of the best items and I don't get anything when you're doing your searches and stuff. It doesn't bother me too much when you're just doing that. But when you're playing it over a length of time, I don't know if maybe that stuff would kind of start to get irritating. Masochist, your health at the end of the scenario is equal to 2 or less. Very easy for us to do. This, very hard for us to do. I think we'll take this one. A sadist, kill 5 or more monsters during the scenario. Absolutely. Probably take this one over this one, even though that this could in theory be easier to do. Never dispute just a random ×2 draw from like the bear or, you know, the berserker, like some random reason as to why we don't get this. And also once this is gone, it's gone. You can never like try and get it back. Whereas this, we've got the whole scenario to try and do this. So let's keep that one. Hunter, kill 1 or more elite monsters during the scenario. Probably not what we're going to do. Never allow your current hit point value to drop below half. Actually, quite possible for us to do because we're hanging around at the back. So I think we can probably get that to work. And we did select our cards, didn't we? We did, I believe. Yes. I think we might have made a few changes here, though, didn't we? No, actually, this is looking pretty reasonable. I guess Primal Blessing is a bit meh. Just thinking, like, why do I not have Concentrated Rage in here right now? Oh, because I was trying to get the push thing last time with Forceful Swipe. I think I was trying to get the Trigger a Trap battle goal, which is why I had it. Okay, that's better. Now I feel better. It does have a loose campaign, tying the scenarios together. You have no objections to dice. Draw a card, throw a dice. They all hate me. Ah, true. But I guess the thing with, like, the best thing about Gloomhaven is the fact that the variance is controlled. There's variance, but it's controlled. And unless, of course, you get really unlucky and just go miss, 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 you know, you just keep drawing your miss every single time. In theory, over the course of a scenario, your luck should start to balance out in some way. Should. Doesn't always, but kind of should. Right. Oh, I remember this scenario now. This is really... It's actually surprisingly tough. So we've got to loot the ornate chest. The single doors leading from the central room will open when the pressure plate in the central room is activated. Double doors will only open once all pressure plates in the rooms behind the single doors have been activated simultaneously. So you kind of have to go here, open the doors, then you have to go and open these doors, and then that opens the middle one, right? It's actually, you have to split up slightly. Might be kind of hard for this team, actually. We'll see. I mean, we should be able to deal with these guys pretty handily. This Savas Ice Storm, though, is a nightmare to deal with. Just because it goes fairly early, can summon other enemies. We're quite low on stuns with this team. So we're weak to summoning enemies. And this is a summoning enemy, so definitely high priority for us. So we're going to have to walk over there. Pretty sharpish. Pretty sharpish. Where do I want to put the bear? I mean, the bear can just kind of sit there, I guess. If I can attack this thing really, really quickly, that would be good. We'll get Exposed going straight away. The Bomb of Exposed, in theory, would be quite good here. But also, Race to the Grave just does 2 damage every single turn through shield anyway. I feel like I can probably find a way through. Okay, I like this into this. Berserker, we're going to definitely hit them with the Blood Pact. And to be honest, probably just break the chains. Just get a little attack off. Yeah. And then we move next turn. That seems pretty good. You get items to mitigate dice throws, but each to their own. Yeah, absolutely. But I guess the thing is that like in Gloomhaven's attack modifier deck, right? You can either get +1, 0, +1, +2, ×2, or you can get -1, -2, miss. Right? And sometimes when if you're throwing, even if it's just a standard 6-sided die, you've got the variance of 6 and 1, or there's a greater band of variance there. Yes, ×2 is still very, very strong. Of course, it's double, but I don't know. The band of variance is less potentially than games that are like, hey, throw a damage and then it's just at that number. I guess it depends on how they handle the numbers system as well, of course. Yep, there we go. Range. Oh, he's just doing a heal, nothing else. Okay, that's good. We can deal with that. And we get this off. He's going to heal himself though, right? Which is a bit sucky, but he's going to heal this or this. Whichever one I do the damage to, he's still going to heal. Mice and Mystics has a much better campaign. I've heard really good things about Mice and Mystics though. Yeah, I'll concede that one. I've heard very good things about that. I didn't think that was a Cool Mini or Not game though. I don't know why. I thought that was somebody else. Your Return to Dark Tower shipped? Ooh. I have not got many Kickstarters on the boil right now. The only Kickstarter, I literally backed it this week, or this weekend, was Crokinole. So I backed the Mayfair Games Crokinole Kickstarter. Because I wanted a board for ages, and just seemed like it was a good opportunity to get one at a decent price. Even though the shipping is, like, crazy to the UK. Like, it's nuts. It's still, Still felt like it made sense. It's not a Simon. I see. I didn't think it was. Just got Tiny Epic Dungeons Kickstarter. Ooh. I've only played the Tiny Epic Galaxies is the only Tiny Epic game that I had. I actually ended up getting rid of it. I traded it away in a math trade. Just didn't really jive with me. I felt like the game didn't need to be tiny. And I kind of didn't like the gimmick of it being tiny. I was just like, I just didn't like it. Why is it so tiny? Ooh. There you go. Haven't tried any of the others, though. That was just my personal opinion about the game. And I was playing it with buddies, and we all kind of felt similar. We all had kind of like a similar reaction to the game where we're like, well, it's good. It is very good, but why is everything so small? I was like, yeah, it kind of became hard to defend it. And then we're like, well, let's just play something else. We never played it again. I actually played it solo for a few times just to sort of try and get a general feeling from it. And again, like, solo game was enjoyable, but ultimately I think the price and like the value that it had, I was like, no, I'll get this off to somebody else. Someone else would get much more fun out of this than me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need to move forward here, don't I? Huh. I really do. Well, I got expose up, so I really need this spot. I probably didn't think about this very well. Let's go Ancient Ward here and potentially try and move him away a little bit. Or do I just move myself? I could just move myself, I suppose. Move 2, swap positions with the bear. That could work. We got quite lucky so far with the draw from this guy. Definitely got some scary draws that I'd kind of much rather get away from here. Do I do the move first? Move 2, swap positions with the bear. Move 2? Yeah. Confirm. Swappy swap. Really? This is the scary one, so I'd much rather everybody just kind of go and focus on this guy. Get the bear to go over there. It's better. Because if it wasn't tiny, the name wouldn't make any sense. I get the gimmick, and I think initially I liked the idea of the gimmick, but actually, in principle, I don't... Personally, it doesn't make me want the game anymore or help me. I get some people want to take games, make them like travel games, and they want to go with them to different places. That isn't me, though. I don't ever have that need. I very, very rarely do. And if I do, I can just put a backpack on or something, and I can go. I don't need it. Probably didn't need to pay 2 there, but there you go. Didn't count that out very well. Ooh, great. Oh my god. Everything. Take that. Disarmed, immobilized, stunned, wounded. You ain't going anywhere, buddy. Oh, you ain't going anywhere. It's a lot of damage. Ooh, extra target. Pays off. Probably just lose my bless here now, though. Yep, there you go. Classic. Problem with tiny epic dungeons is to make it tiny, it uses a lot of ability icons, always looking up something. One of the things you worry about with Frosthaven. Or with the lack of text. I can see that. I think that's a pretty fair, a pretty fair kind of worry to have with that game. Let's do this. Let's do this. I think if I go kind of late here, that could be quite good. 40 here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I think that could be quite good. Let's get this strengthen going, shall we? This is the big scary guy, so we're just going to constantly focus on him. Ooh. Nice. This is why I love playing this active build on this character. It's just so good for just little things like this. Keeping everybody controlled up. Like, we've actually got a good amount of control in a party that you wouldn't think would have it. Sneaky. Nice. Oh, I didn't need to use the goggles. I was strengthened. Ugh. I did it again. Oh, this guy's kind of already dead. I specifically used strengthen for a reason. Now at least I get the flexibility to play the Doom on him. Poor bear. I mean, he's got 24 health right now. Thanks, chat. Me messing up my strengthen again. This is what I mean, though. Like, when I was talking about the card earlier, like, oh, Yeah, it's nice that it gives an ally strength, and that's quite strong, but you can probably figure out other ways of doing it. Like, I literally have already thought of other ways of doing it. I even played the card to try and make it good. This is like the problem. Okay, we'll do some damage there. It's going to be a little sneaky one of those. What do you got for me? Immobilize, maybe? Seems okay. I mean, actually, it's not okay, because he's just going to move in there anyway, right? Yeah, he is. Well, I can move him away, I guess, with this. But I need to move in myself. Ah. Let's just go for it, shall we? It's fine. He's going to be dead, right, chat? He's going to be dead. Vocticale, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the quest. Hope you're doing well. Welcome in. Good to have you here with us. Shiroi just likes the way the goggles look on her. She is very stylish. She's very fashion conscious. Let's say. Oh, actually, the bear's not going to get there because I'm going to get there instead. Now it's not looking so good. Oh, damn it, bear. Why? Now I don't get the ordering of this how I like it. Right. Get any bad cards out of the way. Nope. Right, here comes the ×2. Ooh, I mean, it's going to die on its turn. But I am going to take an attack of 6. It is going to be disadvantaged, though. Fingers crossed. Yeah, could have been better. Could have been worse. Right, let's take a turn, considering that we've got plenty of time here. There's no point in us resting or anything right now. Let's just get everybody towards the door. And then we'll all synchronize our rests together. I'm hoping that I've got a... Do I have a heal here at all? No. That's a bit of a poor... That's poor management there. I should have played Tyrannical Force. And I should have kept a heal in hand. That's a slight mistake there. Because now I don't really have anything to do. Whereas I could just sort of heal for a few turns. That would have been fine. And instead, now I'm going to be kind of stuck here. Can't remember if this is the room to Flurry of Axes in. It probably is, right? I mean, the others are quite narrow, and to try and find a good place to do it, it's probably going to be here. Let's use the health potion. Sometimes I like to use the health potion just to like remove a poison or something, or a wound on this character occasionally. Save it for that. And we jump onto the loot there. Lovely. Right, now we can long rest. Although we've got quite a few cards on our Doomstalker, so a little bit awkward there, but we can certainly long rest here. Long rest here. It's only 2 turns. The annoying thing is, though, is that one of the cards I want to get rid of is in my hand, which is Detonation. So I would have to get rid of probably just a good card, which I don't really want to do. I could get rid of Fresh Kill. It is only just an attack 4. And it's conditional, right? But is the jump going to be really useful at some point? It could be. We have to get onto these plates, right? There could well be some traps or just some stuff that gets in the way. Hey, Star Welter. Someone catch you up on this situation. Well, you're not too late. We've I started a little bit late today because I had something I had to attend. But now we have sort of done all of our level ups. Now we're into our first scenario of the night. So we did do a level up at the beginning for everyone. We're just clearing the first room now. Yeah, I guess I could give it a fresh kill, and then that would be fine. As long as there isn't any traps. If there is traps, it's bad times. Let's get rid of concentrated rage. Heal up. Let's get rid of probably spiked armor. I could get rid of break the chains now though, but I would really like to just play this and this combo together at one time. Do we have any flying enemies even in this scenario? I think it's just all elementals. I don't think anything has flying. Unless we have wind elementals? Or flame element? I guess maybe they could turn up. If there's fire, then they also make traps, so that could be quite good. Although pulling them towards me will then trigger the retaliate, so maybe not so good. Nah, let's get rid of break chance. Wind demons? Let's just try and hope that we can get them. Is the jump going to be really important here? It might be, but we do have some other big moves, right? We've got to move 5, we've got to move 3 invisible. I'm going to risk it for a biscuit. Real shame that we didn't have detonation in our discard there. I would have easily have got rid of that. Right, so do we want to go for the flurry of axes play on the first turn? I quite like it. I don't really see anywhere else where we're going to have this value. I can only assume that there's a lot of enemies behind this door. Especially considering that it's trying to get you to split off. Ancient wards. I really want to open the door with this guy, though. I guess I want to strengthen first, though, right? If I strengthen here, open the door, strengthen. We want 19, and then we do flurry of axes on 27. And then we use this just to get into the right place. Yeah, we could give this a go. And then that opens the door up so that potentially, if I want to switch between these two, I have actually an opportunity to do so. Let's skip this. I should keep the jump card. Maybe. Ooh, hello. All right, scary room is very scary. Oh, man, we got lucky with the initiative there, huh? These guys are doing an attack 5. These guys are doing an attack 4. I'm going to do a big flurry of axes. Strengthened. With the piercing bow. So I'm going to have a decent shot at doing some good damage to the wind demons. I think I'm going to go for the frost demons here. The retaliate on these guys as well means that I probably should prioritize ranged attacks against them. All right, in we go. So where's the good spot? I mean, there's the best spot, right? But it's only range 3. Can I get everything? 1, 2, 3. I think I can, right? From this spot here. Yeah, I can. 1, 2, 3. That's everything. And I don't need to take any additional damage. Nice. All right, here we go, chat. Here we go. Preempting it.
No,
That's a lot of damage. That was a lot of draws. Oh, wow. We stunned this guy at the back, too. That was nice. Very nice. Nice.
Yeah, boy. A little bit spicy.
Tried to time it. Close. Very close. Okay. So now, man, now we can just absolutely destroy these guys. Not even going to be close. Ooh, we could try and do this, right? Well, this could work quite nicely. With exposed, this could work. This actually would immediately kills this, pretty much. I think I'm about to try and get on the back guy, though. Maybe it's better to do Rain of Arrows with it, though. Because then we get the extra attack off, and then hopefully that kills. Initiative might be a bit awkward here. Wow, we've absolutely just made an easy... Like, just a complete easy room here. Just because of that one flurry of axes. This is how good flurry of axes can be, right? Go for the detonate. Oh, I could go for the detonate, couldn't I? Or detonate, press the attack or something? It's also not bad. But then I could feel like I could probably kill this one anyway. I feel like I can kill this one anyway. Or unless I race to the grave this. Impending end this. Doable. Yeah, there you go. Need advice? Just finished a game of Gloom with your friend. Both retired your characters. You're stunning Mind Thief and trying to force your friend to play Sun. He's sadly more leaning towards 2 minis or circles, which of the later two are better. I would say 2 minis. I think if you played Mind Thief 2 minis, you'd be fine. I think it's fine. That's a pretty decent party, I think. You'll have so much disarm, stun, and in your party. You don't need to worry about it. And the bear's a pretty good tank on normal difficulty, to be honest. I think it's a really good one. Why'd you have to go and do that? Why'd you have to go and make things so complicated? Pressure plate? Circle's Mind Thief could be fun if you go rat summon build, but weaker for sure. Yeah, that's true. There's some synergy there. You've got like possession and stuff. There's a couple of cards that do have some synergy between the Mind Thief and that. But again, you can just use that with the bear, right? I feel like 2 minis, you can choose to play a few more summons and it's not bad, whereas you're kind of forced to have to play summons with circles, and that might be bad. Or at least you might struggle more. There's also certain scenarios, and this will be true for 2 minis too. There are certain scenarios in which you kind of just have to accept this is not a good scenario for my character, and circles and 2 minis are the 2 characters that suffer the most from this because they're so inherently linked to their summons, like, and how well they can do. You kind of just have to open yourself up to go, well, do you know what? It's not really going to be. But at least if you're playing 2 minis, I feel like you've got really good other cards to fall back on. And you can kind of just let the bear die and just run away and maybe deal with it that way. Whereas that's harder for circles because she really does need to use them to be impactful. And the other build that she has, I think, is just, well, it's fine, but it's not very fun. Did I just sing Avril Lavigne? I did. Guilty as charged. Do we only need to heal the Berserker? Wow. Clean run so far, huh? Do I just stun him then? I mean, I just stun him. Now sings Skater Boy? No. Avril Lavigne was... It was popular when I was in my teenage years. So, you know. Bieber, no. Absolutely not. That was after my time. We all went through that phase. Yeah, it's funny. I was talking to some colleagues at work because they were asking... She was asking everybody, like, what did they listen to when they were a sort of a teenager, like 12, 13, you know, like the formative years, if you like. Like, a lot of people kind of form their musical kind of connections around that kind of time in their life because, you know, nobody understands you and you find a lot of meaning in music and films and things like that, I think. Or at least I did. So, like, I was a heavy metal kid, so around that time I was listening to Linkin Park, Limp Bizkit, Metallica. Then I also went through a bit of a phase of really liking Velvet Revolver, which was Slash's spin-off band after Guns N' Roses. I liked when I got really into metal, I was like really into like In Flames, really into Opeth, Tool, yeah, like all of the kind of stuff you would kind of expect. Sum 41 were a band that I didn't mind them. Like I was never really into that type of music, but I didn't mind it. I thought it was okay. Like I watched Kerrang, like every teenager my age did. So all that music was on Kerrang and Q and stuff. MTV2? I think MTV2 was the rock channel. Queens of the Stone Age as well. Queens of the Stone Age remain one of my favorite bands. They were a band that I came to like when I was probably about 15. And they remain one of my favorite bands. Chocolate Starfish and the hot dog flavored water. Yeah, great name. But I remember getting that. So this is my story about getting that album. So I really, really wanted it. And at the library, in our town library, they'd started renting out CDs and tapes. And some movies, I think. You could maybe get some videos or stuff. And they were quite cheap compared to other places. And there wasn't really anywhere else in my town. There's a couple of like, video stores where you could get videos. But you couldn't get music anywhere. And this was before the internet, right? So this is before you could just go on the internet and download it or whatever. So I really wanted this album. And I had my pocket money. And I went to go get it from the library. And the librarian behind the counter, she saw like the parent advisory explicit warning sticker on it. And she called like her supervisor. Because she was like, are we allowed to give this to children? And there's no legal... Like that sticker has no legal standing. It doesn't say you have to be a certain age or whatever. It's actually just a sticker that they used to put on just to, for parents to advise them, hey, this might not be appropriate to give a child. But there's no legal way that they can stop you from getting it. So they had like a discussion about it, and then they kind of reluctantly let me borrow that album. And yeah, that was when I got that home and started playing it, I had to like listen to it in headphones, so my parents didn't know I was listening to it. And then I like listened to that for ages. I kept like taking it out from the library, and then for my birthday, I asked for a physical copy of their new album, and my parents wouldn't give it to me because it says the parent advisory on it. So I never got to own like any of their albums because I constantly just borrowed it from the library, and I wasn't allowed to own the other one. And then by that time, like the internet came out, and like then of course I got hold of them later when the internet came out, but it was yeah, interesting times. My parents did allow me to get Linkin Park Hybrid Theory though. That was the first album that that was actually the first album that I actually owned myself. I got it as a gift, but I actually owned myself, was Linkin Park Hybrid Theory. Yeah. There you go. That's my musical origin story, chat. There you go. Press the attack? I think press the attack will be pretty good here. And then just wild command. I mean, wild command's really good for playing with rain of arrows, not with what we have now. So maybe I'll save that for next turn. Just get a detonation in the discard pile. Just so that I can get rid of it. Seems good. Should think about healing though, but I've done it again. I've got rid of my only heal card. I should not have done. I should play the bottom of this to at least heal a little bit off. Summon Frost Demon. Boy, am I glad that I stunned you. Alright. Good old expose. Oh. Right, hit you with the Bone Breaker. Starwelter, thank you so much for the resub. Really appreciate it. The quest continues, my friend. Good to have you here with us. 2 months. I really appreciate the support. Thank you, buddy. Very kind of you. Ooh. Okay, now he's just dead. Now he's just very dead. Yep. Okay, then. Doesn't feel like a very impactful heal one, that one, does it? So I've got a couple more turns before I really need to worry about anything else. I'll probably long rest next turn. We'll just get a little bit of loot here while we're at it. You know, just while we're hanging out. No reason not to. Need to get it on my Berserker because I'm working on that enhancement. Got to get access to those new emotes, you know? I do really like those. I need to work on sub badges. That's the next thing. I know you guys really want them. I might look at that this week. Alexa, stop. Did any of what I just said sound like her name? I think it's better. Is money better on the Doomstalker right now, or is it better on the Beast Tyrant? It's probably better on the Beast Tyrant, right? Doomstalker feels like a character that doesn't really have many enhancements apart from this one, and then I don't really care for any others. You can do like plus attacks on things, but it doesn't feel very good. Maybe poison on something. Maybe the old poison. I guess the thing is how close do I want to be to the door? And who's going to be the one to push the button? Probably should be the Doomstalker. Wound on Darkened Skies? Yeah, that's a good shout. Maybe go with poison instead of wound. Just because it's... I got a lot of wound with my Berserker, so maybe it's nice to mix it up. Get some poison in there too. Block some heals or something. Might be quite useful. Long rest. Long rest. Long rest. Then we go early and open this. Yeah. Let's get rid of... Disorienting Roar is just a fun one that can sometimes get you out of like a problem, so keep that. I feel like Energizing Strike's fairly weak. Good at removing poison, but hopefully we won't... We're against elementals, so it's unlikely that we get poisoned, but then there is... I guess the Savas lava flows can do that. Can poison you. Can poison me. You wish you could add Pierce to attacks as an enhancement and not have to rely on the bow so much. That's an interesting idea. Actually being able to give Pierce. How much would you pay for a Pierce 1 or a Pierce 2? Like how much... Was PS2 maybe too good? So maybe like just PS1 would be enough. Kind of get why they don't have it. About £3.50. Okay. Alright, wise guy. A little bit worried about exhausting on my Berserker. Gotta be very careful now because we've kind of brought in all our resources fairly quickly there. It was worth it, absolutely. But now I need to go fast. Gotta go fast. 2 installments of $19.99. Isn't wounds just better than PS1? Well, yes, unless the enemy's already got wound on it. Then no. That's the thing, really, right? The problem is that there's a lot of poison and a lot of wound in the game, so you can kind of find it somewhere. Whereas Pierce is quite unique at times, so just it's an underused mechanic in the game, I think. Maybe because it's too good. That's why it's like it's rare. Right, are we going to open the door fairly early here? I think we are. We're going to go here with Moment's Peace. That sounds good. That's going to open the door. We are just going to kind of chill out. Not do much more. Probably just play something like Wild Command to actually move it closer to the door. So we need to go after 46 on everybody. Well, that's not going to happen. So maybe I just play Darker Sky. I don't feel like I'm going to use the top in this room. And then I think maybe I do need to go for like the big heal here potentially. Oh no, I need to go for Ancient Ward. Yeah, it needs to go something like this really, doesn't it? I think. I think Pierce may be worth slightly less than Poison, since Poison is persistent +1 until a heal. A good point that it can be independent. Yeah. I think it's the thing with Pierce is there are lots of shielded enemies in the game, and I think a lot of players would maybe struggle to deal with high shield enemies. And I said this before, Retaliate is a mechanic that specifically, typically, I guess not always, but usually specifically hurts melee characters. Like, it's a significant disadvantage to melee characters. Now, how the game kind of balances that out in some roundabout way is it allows a lot of melee characters to potentially attack a lot and quite often, right? It's quite rare that you have a ranged character that has an attack for target 4 things, right? That's just too good. You don't see that as a non-burn. But you can see cards like Burning Hatred being non-burn because, well, there's some level of risk involved in playing a card like this. You have to move in. The enemy's going to focus you. There also could be Retaliate. So there's like an element of that, which is why melee characters tend to do more damage potentially. I mean, the Doomstalker is kind of like the exception to the rule, I guess. But that's like the way that I've always seen it. Is Retaliate is a kind of mechanic that's specifically in there more so to kind of check the melee characters a little bit and to give that kind of pushback. And Pierce is a way that you can kind of deal with a lot of those enemies because a lot of the enemies that have Retaliate also have shield. So being able to kind of deal with that. I don't know. And you're the focus as well because you're in melee range. So generally speaking, you're the focus all the time. Sometimes I feel like melee characters get a bit of a raw deal. But you can kind of tell with the numbers that each of the attack numbers that generally ranged versus melee get, that there is like melee definitely have the advantage in that respect. But also they have it harder to actually pull the attacks off. It's much harder to pull them off, right? Oh, that was unfortunate, huh? Right, what was in this way? Just one? Do you like Retaliate 4, right? Pretty harsh. Oh. There might be some 9 damage traps here. Jump might have been something I wanted to keep. I don't have jump on my Beast Tyrant. Or my Doomstalker. So that's fun. Somebody, 2 people are definitely walking into traps. Okay. Interesting. I think I'm just going to have to use this as a move too, aren't I? Oof, and then take retaliate. Ugh. Or I just hit him as I stand? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, speaking of retaliate, exactly. What's the range on this? 4, right? Okay, well, if I go to here, then next turn... Actually, that was a mistake. I could have just gone here. Let's restart that. Yeah, let's restart the round. I didn't count that out. That was done with me. I should have just moved here and stunned these... Got both of them. Yeah, that was... Mistake. Forget that that thing has range 4. It's OP. Way too strong. Range 4. Right, same again. Ancient Ward and Rampage, were we on 34? Then we were going a Moment's Peace and... We were just using Darkened Skies. Go to here. Let's use the old speed up feature. That was kind of harsh. We're gonna have to protect this bear at all costs now, I think. He is gonna get himself hurt. Harrowers are like mini bosses as well. They're actually really quite difficult to deal with. Big questions here. Nice. Really, I want to just be fighting the golem, right? That's really what I want to be fighting, but I don't think I can get there. But I'll tell you what, getting wounded and immobilized on this. What's this guy got? Retaliate 4 as well? Is that just natural? That's just innate, by the way. Not even a card that they played. So I'd go here. I would take 4 retaliate. I mean, he's disarmed for next round anyway, so I'm pretty safe. I just don't have any... I don't have a great way of interacting. I guess Burning Hatred is my best bet. So if I make fire, I can always do that with him. All right, let's do that. We're giving up a lot of health here, but I think we're just going to have to. Let's use our goggles because we want to make sure it counts. Let's make sure we don't whiff on the attack. We're taking a load of damage and retaliate. There you go. There's nothing worse than missing on a retaliate attack, right? Nothing worse in this game at all. Right, I need to try and kill this thing super quickly. He needs to die. Maybe I end up just healing the bear a little bit here. And move the bear towards the golem. Or move him back. I think that's pretty fair. reckon Berserker can 1v1 this. Oh, there's a bless. Oh, yes. That's what I'm talking about. Let's get a moment's peace and press the attack back. Wow. Lovely crits. We're going to need a few more of those. So let's get that card back and get blessing some more. Heal up the one. Then we have a sneaky roundabout way of getting behind the retaliate. Ooh. There it is. There it is. Okay, okay. Wow. Back to back. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. We should definitely use our potion here unless we're planning on using this, which I'm really not. Don't think I can really hack it. I need fire, but I don't have it. I can make fire with devil horns, but this is really not the time or the place. Yeah, this is where if I could get break the chains back, honestly, I would. It would just give me something. Some way of interacting with these enemies, which I do not have right now. I guess I could just get the big attack back and just try and finish it at some point. With the big attack. Very easy, just crit them. Or not. Might have been more value to do that here, but I don't know. What's he doing? 1, 2, 3. What are you doing? Potentially target 2. And we can drop back a little bit here. Let's filter these guys through. Potentially putting my Doomstalker at a bit of a in a bit of a weird situation here. It's like, what are you doing? Bringing them towards me. Do you know that's not what I do? I think I'm gonna need another heal, and I'm gonna need another rampage at some point. Definitely need to heal my Berserker. Doomstalker does not like it when people bring enemies to him. But no, that's really not what I'm about. It's really not my job. Hoping that this is enough to kill him. What is this? This is Race to the Grave? So we should, in theory, we should be good with that. I think I want to attack and I just want to move away. And then we should have a pretty good Ancient Ward. 1, 2, 3, 4 here. We should do. Do we have line of sight of these guys? Yeah, we do. And then I just need to keep my heals. Keep my heals in my hand. And hopefully this is going to be enough damage. 38, 38, 83. Lovely. So hopefully this will do the trick. Ooh. Another? Ooh, baby. Let's get more in there. Now, this is why this enhancement is so strong. Right there. You're seeing it. Exposed plus this enhancement. Oh. So good.
Wow.
Wow. I guess I could... No, I think I'm just going to try and finish this guy off, right? I think that's the plan. I'm all in, baby. Yes! You predict one more crit. Wow. The timing. You guys are trying to get the timing. Wait, it's fine. Here comes the crit now. All right. It's the crit. Here it is. Oof. Not quite. Not quite. We're definitely getting close to a rest, but I'm so low. Perhaps I should just start going over towards this, getting ready to jump onto this. I feel like it makes sense for me to go this way now, right? Let's just have a little move. These guys can deal with these. That's no problem. There is something wrong with us if we can't deal with these between our two characters here. So Rain of Arrows plus Swift Trickery. Maybe. Or Rain of Arrows plus Impending End has a good chance. Impending End would be quite good on the Stone Golem, though. Let's try this. 7. Always healing. Ugh. It's kind of gross. I can go before that and stun. Yeah, let's do that. Ooh. It's just rain and blesses out here today, chat. It's just rain and blesses. Didn't even see it. What are you supposed to redeem for a +1? I don't know. Just a thumbs up. A thumbs up, or a nice. No, nice. Probably nice. That's probably it. Devs. Definitely devs. There's clearly a bug in the game. Clearly. Right. I'm on my way. 1, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, is it 6 away? Ugh. Oh, that's kind of gross. Oh, that's kind of gross. I didn't measure that. Well, let's hope that this kind of just gets it done, shall we? Yeah. Do I have the crowd goes mild emote? What a lovely +1. See, you got to redeem the devs, right? No, you got to do it. You said it. Now you guys got to do it. Got Primal Blessing and. Thing is that I don't know if I can actually do much with this. Oh, I guess I could strengthen here. That's kind of okay, I guess. Awkward Golem. Why are you so awkward? Well, I suppose that could be worse. Devs. I didn't draw a ×2. Please explain. Let's get that used. The bear is starting to get very, very hurt. I'm a little bit concerned about that. Let's get rid of devil horns. Get rid of devil horns. I feel like Resolute Stand is one of those kind of cards I want to keep in my back pocket. Because when you're going to inevitably exhaust on this character, at least I can run into a room, just hopefully kill something, and then exhaust in like a blaze of glory. And that's usually good enough. So I like to keep Resolute Stand to the end. Bounce Back is also just giving me those kind of off turns to just heal a Blood Pact every now and again. It's kind of okay. Burning Hatred and Bone Breaker are just really good. Strength and Agony, I need to position myself. So I guess it probably is Devil Horns. It's either that or Bounce Back, and I guess Devil Horns. Bear is entering endangered territory. Yeah, definitely. I think I'm going to have the RSPCA ringing me again. Wildlife Protection. Have a little chat. Right, let's move this way. It is barely alive. Ha 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 ha. Nice. Ooh. Recovery. It's a long road. It is a long road to recovery. But it's possible. One, two. I'm trying to get away from this attack, but still move past it. I don't think I can I? Yeah. I mean, that worked out nicely, but still. Okay. Still gonna need to try and get onto these things. That's 9 damage. I need to heal before I go onto these things. What can we get rid of here? Is Darkened Skies gonna be any good? Now, if this has got, let's say, 3 enemies, it is just loot the chest, though. So even if there is a room full of enemies after we open this, I can ignore them. So... And the fact it just says loot the chest... Which means, so as long as I just run in, get on the chest, I'll pick it up at the end of my turn. Even if I die, we win, right? As long as it's not the last person, we should be fine. So, in fact, we'll just win. So, it's not actually that hard. Believe it's 2 elite golems. They're tricky, but we can definitely ignore them. Definitely can ignore them. So, Darkened Sky is probably not great. So, we'll get rid of that. If we end up exhausting here, it might have been better to do the Darkened Skies in this room rather than the Flurry of Axes. Let's keep blessing ourselves. Actually, no, maybe we just attack him now. Let's just attack him. Let's not mess around here. Let's get him dead, shall we? And we'll take a hit here if we need to. We do have plenty of heals as long as we're clever with them. I could use the net. I'll use the net anyway, actually. I knew I used that net for something. I knew I brought it along for a reason. Right, I'm here. The awkward part now is I've got nothing to do. I'm just chilling. See, look, the recovery. It's coming back. Is there a less good 2 minis build that works against monsters with retaliate? I mean, this build that I'm doing right now, I think works against enemies with retaliate. You just need to position your bear more. You need to pick your bear, your fights. So you probably want a couple more. Probably want a couple more movement cards to move the bear around, I would say. So if you have a particular scenario where there's lots and lots of retaliate, but maybe there's like one of the bunch of enemies doesn't. So in this scenario, for example, this is the one enemy that doesn't have the retaliate, right? So I need to try and find a way to the bear to prioritize this enemy. That is quite hard though, because as you see, like it started at the back. The 2 harrowers were faster than it, and also they have lower initiative, so they're always going to get to the front. So it was quite difficult here, but that was, you know, trying to get the bear up towards here, so it focused on this room. That's the thing. I think you just need more movement, or you need to potentially even put the bear into positions where it just can't attack, and just sort of chills out for a little bit. But you do have cards that help this out. You have Blood Hunger. That helps you heal through retaliate damage. That's kind of like what it's intended for. You got Punch Through, which is good for shielded enemies, because shielded enemies often have retaliate. You've got the rolling heals, like as you can see here. The rolling heals are also really, really good. I think you can play more heals on the Beast Tyrant yourself. You could play the damage swap ability, whatever it's called, the transfer of energy card that allows you to take damage off your bear and put it onto yourself. There are things like that you can do, but I think generally more mobility will help a lot. Yeah, more bear movement to drive bear focus. Yeah, just try and get it away from the bad situations as much as possible. It's never going to be ideal though, because players don't choose ambiguity in digital. That's like one of the big things for me. It's like, damn, you're never really going to be able to do it great because of that, unfortunately. You know, when you have those 50-50s, it's going to be random, and it might attack a retaliate enemy or something or move towards a retaliate enemy when you'd hope that it wouldn't. Maybe it would move somewhere else. You know, those little things as well can matter. Right, how am I going to get up there? I do have a move 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I do have boots 2. Fortunately, though, this is my best attack right now, so I guess Impending End's got a really good chance of just killing it, though. Where are my other good moves? Probably a good idea to just hit myself with a big move 5. But then that is my move 4 gone away. Might be doing some short resting on a Beast Tyrant here, folks. Like, that's a really scary card for them to draw right now. Definitely want to go underneath that. 100%. And now... maybe I do just move like this. Hit the heal another round. There is a chance that maybe just my Doomstalker kills it. There is a chance of that, but I don't want to risk it too much. There you go. So I've got no need to do it right now. I'll just go here so then I could maybe get the benefit of the heal. Or if I go... actually, I could just go straight on it now, right? It's got poison, so... we want to have to clear that poison first. Any word from the devs if they'll ever give choice for ambiguity? I don't think so. That's a really good question, though. I keep forgetting to ask it when I have the opportunity to. I don't think so. So in terms of the game, what I'm generally hearing, you know, from the Q&A as well, the general vibe, I think, from the devs now is that they are really happy with, you know, the systems and everything that they have. You know, they have to at some point stop working on the game. You know, the game is 1.0 now. It is out. So things that we've been asking for, that I ask for a lot, like UI changes, extra information to this, all of those kinds of things are just probably not going to happen anymore, just because they've kind of had to get the game to release, which they've done, and now it's more about adding, you know, fixing bugs. So obviously bugs, they'll always be a priority, but fundamental changes to that stuff is probably unlikely, because it's not going to help them sell more copies of the game, or it's not going to push the game forward with content. They're going to focus more on DLC and fixing any issues that are a big problem. But in terms of like quality of life style things, I would be quite surprised if we saw them, just because it doesn't really make much sense from like a business standpoint to add that kind of stuff now, right? Does that make sense? Like, it would be, from a community point of view, awesome. I would love them to do it. But ultimately, it's probably not gonna, you know, a few players are gonna love it. A lot of players are not gonna see the difference, you know? But they might incorporate those changes in with Jaws of the Lion. Yeah, possibly. Possibly. But fundamental things like that, I think it's a bit of a mistake to put features like that behind a paywall of any kind. I just realized we had no music this entire time. Or is it just no music in this level? No music in this level. I think it's a little bit of a mistake to put features like that behind a paywall, right? Because then what you're saying, oh hey, if you want to play with the rules, which are as written in the board game, you have to pay for an expansion. That's not a good look. That will upset people. So it's better to just not put it in the game than do that. Or if you are going to do it, it's going to have to be a free update for everyone, right? You manage a software product, so you definitely get it. Yeah, I mean, it's like, I don't work in that kind of field. I totally get it, though. That at some point, you know, you just have to say, we're done. Because otherwise you will just spend years tinkering. The way that the game that I like to always think about this is Escape from Tarkov, right? I really like Escape from Tarkov. When is that game going to be finished? You know? Because at some point they're going to have to say we're finished. And I guarantee that every player is going to be like, oh no, I want you to add this bit. I want you to change this. You know, there's going to be elements of the game that are not going to be exactly as they want. And at some point, you just have to say, we need to move on. Something else. You know, we've got it to a state. We're really, really happy with it. There's maybe a few, you know, nothing is perfect, but we're really, really happy with it, and they can be proud of it. And I think the game's pretty much there at that point. Like, apart from maybe fixing a few bugs, like, I think they've done a great job. So, you know, they've done better than we expected. So now we're asking for perfection, which is, well, hard to achieve. Could be a free update times with the release of Jaws of the Lion. Possibly, but like I said, is it something that they're going to be, or are they going to spend most of their time working on the Jaws content and making sure that that's good? It is really difficult, and I think it's much worse for games that go down the early access route. That is a lot more common, because if this game just came out, right, we didn't have any early access, and just one day it was like, boom, Gloomhaven Digital, folks, here you go. What would people's impressions be? Would it be different? I think it probably would be slightly different. People would probably have a slightly different impression of it as a game. We probably wouldn't even have Guildmaster. Guildmaster wouldn't exist, because they made Guildmaster so that they could It was a vessel for early access so that they could bring the characters in naturally, test everything, give players stuff to play with during early access. Guildmaster would not be in the game for a start. You bet there will be a pre-patch before Jaws of Lion? And Craig did say there'll be a patch. Well, there's definitely going to be summons dropping gold is going to be a global house rule that everybody's going to have access to. So you can expect that, and that is going to happen before the expansion comes out. But I do not expect any kind of sweeping changes to like, oh, hey, we've added ambiguity in the game for summons. I don't see them doing that. I really don't. I would be very, very surprised if that was the case. I'm just gonna have to chill here now, right? I can't even go anywhere. I'm just chilling. This is awkward. If I don't do it soon, this guy's just gonna die, and then this will not be pressed. Little bit of a problem. I can't go anywhere. Can I like move? Do I just want a short rest here and just move on to it? I'm really tempted to just short rest and move on to it, man. Just to get it done. But then I can long rest next turn, I suppose. Maybe not. Yeah, maybe not. I've got time. It's a small amount of time, but I've got time. You kind of cheese these. You have Boots of Swiftness, and as soon as the door opens, your spell wizard used its 8 move, and the boot is to pretty much get the chest in 1 turn. Yeah, we're going to have to play it pretty honestly here. Not the worst thing in the world to do, but... We're gonna be we'll long rest here. If I long rest. I mean, I could just short rest here and just go for it. I mean, I've kept Ancient Ward for a reason. I think that's fine. Ooh. That's actually kind of spicy. This just helps you win. This could just win us the scenario, right? I just hilariously swap this in or something. I think I have to keep this orienting rule. That's actually kind of a cute way to win this scenario randomly. Oh, that one's a wound one. I thought they were all poison. No! Leave the bear alone. Disorienting Roar has already swung into all 3 scenarios in my favor. Yeah, it's actually... I love having cards that just have these toolboxy elements to them. where you could just look at the scenario in a completely different way. Like now it's like, hang on a minute, I could just TP one of these golems to here into the traps and just disappear off, right? It really does just allow you to think about the scenario in a completely different way. It's awesome. And then I could probably just resolute stand the other one, and then it's good game, well played, right? Today, Gloomhaven had 1,000 people viewing streamers. You might have gotten 100 new sales today. But that's right. Eventually, it's time for your profit and to stop development of the product. Yeah, for sure. I mean, the other thing you got to think about with it, a lot of it depends as well on, obviously, if there was like 1,000 people viewing on Twitch, right, which is insane, which is really good. How many of those people are like, I mean, because Twitch has had moments, right, where Shroud streamed this game. Shroud streamed Gloomhaven, and he didn't even just stream it for a little bit. He streamed it for about 3 days straight, and he was pulling 9-10 hour streams of Gloomhaven. Like, I was going to bed watching him playing Gloomhaven, and I would get up in the morning and he was still playing, and he would be playing all the way throughout like the morning. Like, I was checking in on him at work and stuff. I thought that was insane. So there have been moments when this game has like hit a big mass audience. That has happened. Potentially, you know, different, obviously not maybe the target market for this kind of game. I mean, Shroud obviously loves it, and I love Shroud. I watch him all the time, and he's a great dude. But a lot of people like to watch him play, like, you know, FPS games, because that's what he's famous for, and he's, you know, his flicky ability is very good. But he had a good amount of viewers. You know, he's still pulling like 15-20,000 people watching him play Gloomhaven, and that was when the game wasn't even out of early access, and they were playing, I think they were just playing, he was playing co-op with Hannah and somebody else, one of his buddies, maybe Justin, and they were playing, and they were having like they're having a whale of a time. They played like 3 days on the bounce, like 8-9 hour sessions. Really, they were enjoying it. And the thing is, though, is that they obviously were really enjoying it, but are they the kind of people that would then go, oh, I'm going to go check this game out? I'm not so sure. I think that certain streamers, Shroud included, is in a position where he can kind of stream whatever he wants. Like, he's got a lot of freedom now. You know, he's done that kind of grind. He has his audience. Obviously, he's going to get a lot more viewers for certain types of games, but also he's in a really nice position where he can just play things that he really wants to play and not have to worry about it too much. You know, he can kind of pick and choose what he likes to do. Doesn't have to worry about that growth element of his channel anymore. So how many of the people who watched him were really very interested in the game? I don't know. I got one of my comments shouted out. He shouted out one of my comments when I was there, which I was like, awesome. That was like a bit of a fanboy moment for me. But yeah. The people who come in, are they going to stick around? That's the question. And I think, you know, video games are, I really hope that they do, of course, but I guess it's seriously, like, you can have 1,000 viewers one day and then you can have 10 the next, right? It's really, it can be really quite fickle. Amok, thank you so much for the Prime Gaming sub, dude. 3 months in a row. It's very kind of you. Welcome, welcome. Hope you're doing well. The quest continues, my friend. Good to have you here again with us. Really appreciate it, buddy. Thank you. And Shrigurki, thank you so much for the follow. I hope I said that kind of right. Welcome to the quest. Need to get Code Carnage to stream it. I did message him on Twitter and say, hey, I think you would really enjoy this game. I think the problem with Ko is that Ko has a really compact schedule. He has a lot to play, and I think Gloomhaven really does benefit people who have a lot of time. I think he probably has taken a look at the game. I'd be very surprised if he hasn't at least cast his eyes over it, or, you know, been recommended to him by other people. And he's probably just seen that it's going to be a bit too much work for him. But I would absolutely love to see like him, Dan's Gaming, like JP, Ezekiel, like all of those guys that are really like tight knit. They often play together. I would love to see them play like co-op Gloomhaven. I think that'd be an awesome stream. But they're all very busy and they have a lot of commitments. And Gloomhaven's a long game, so feels kind of unlikely. Feels a little bit unlikely. Are we going to go for the cheesy swap? I think we're going for the cheesy swap, chat. I think we're going for the cheesy swap. Swap you and you. Bonk you. Run to the chest. Easy win. Easy win, right? Do the rampage for a bit of XP. And Doomstalker can just cry in a corner because you're not involved anymore. And you. Oh. That's just so broken. It's so strong. The problem is that this card just trivializes some scenarios. Just absolutely trivializes them. It was basically a move 12. Yep, with jump. Beautiful. I do need to try and get down to, what was it, 2 XP though? Sorry, 2 XP, 2 health? I do need to get down to 2 health. Can I do it with this? I think I probably can. That gets me down to 3. I guess I don't want to kill him that quickly, maybe? Or do I want to just run around, get myself to 3? Yeah, I'll just do that. He doesn't have retaliate, right? No. And he's going to attack the bear. That's fine. I guess maybe I don't want to... I don't want to finish it quite yet. I can get down to 2 next turn, right? Just do whatever. There you go. I guess it doesn't end until I loot the chest, so even if I do kill this, it doesn't matter as well, right? It really doesn't. Get wrecked. Ooh, there's some flips. 23. Gonna be out of cards though. Oh no, you're right. Oh, hang on. Can I long rest?
No, that's a lot of damage.
Can I long rest? Is that a thing? Ah, you're right, though. Race to the chests. Quick. Well, I mean, 2 health is also no health, right? I mean, I am on no health, right? This is fine. Technically, I'm exhausted. Less than 2 health. I mean, I'm dead. That's less than 2 health, right? Also fine. Not the same. Does it say end the scenario? What does the battle goal specifically say? I can't see it now. I can't select the character. Happened to you? I guess we're going to find out. Damn, I definitely could have got that too if I hadn't been so hasty. I guess we'll find out. It does feel like maybe it doesn't count because it should be like exhausted or not. I don't know. Because there is a battle goal that is just to be exhausted, right? So the fact that those two are quite similar. Ooh. Nice try. Better luck next time. I have moon earring, right? I can just kind of... I can move like 4 if I wanted to. That's fine. It's fine. Just swap the bear back here. I mean, that kind of works. Protect the bear at all costs. No! Is that like my first miss of the entire scenario? I think it might be. Save the bear. Operation Save the Bear. We did it. We saved him. Although honestly, I'm probably just gonna get the chest now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I'll just get the chest now. I got no reason to really kill this guy, right? I got no reason to.
Wow.
Five. Nice. I don't want to milk this scenario too much. Does Beast Tyrant have a card that consumes Earth? Yes. She has a couple of heals, I believe, that do that. Mm-hmm. Couple of heals that I think is slightly better. Right. Let's find out, shall we? Victory!
Rush forward and take hold of the sigil of strength lying on a pedestal in the inner chamber. Immediately, an overwhelming power surges through you, and all of your foes disappear as quickly as they had appeared.
Oh, I killed them all anyway, it's fine.
You feel a great strength welling up inside you. For an instant, your vision goes dark, and you see glimpses of a strange runic alphabet. The power dissipates, and your vision returns. But before you can write down the symbols, they fade from memory.
That's unfortunate. No! I guess it's like, it says your health at the end of the scenario is equal to 2 or less. I mean, the or less part would make you feel like you could probably die. But is it? I don't know. I guess the idea is that I had 3 health and I just had to die because I exhausted, not because of any other reason. Oh, that's really annoying. I was 1 health away from doing it. I feel like if I wanted to, I probably could have min-maxed that out and just got that to work, right? I just play, instead of playing Resolute Stand, I just run around, burn a load of health, and do it on the following turn. That was definitely a way I could have done it. I just really lost sight of the number of cards that I had in my hand for that character. Feels weird to give a perk point for death. It is a bit awkward, but I mean, there is one that is just to exhaust. Also, there's the actual battle, the retirement goal to unlock this character is to exhaust. Devs for clarity. Yeah. It seems a bit odd that it doesn't work, but ultimately I died when I had 3 health. And I died not because of a lack of health, I died because of a lack of cards. I know that those things are kind of interchangeable a lot of the time in the game, but I guess this is like the one instance where that is not the case. Very good. Right. 71 gold. Are we close? I think we need 100 gold. I think we need 100. Yep, we need 100. Got 100 gold here, though. Oh, 10 more gold, chat. 10 more gold, then we're fully broken. Oh, target 3, range 4. Disgusting. Right. City encounter. It works both ways. You can exhaust at full and score that battle goal, I believe. Oh, yeah, you could, you just play final fight, right? It's the Berserker on the first turn of the game. Done. Now you guys have got to worry about everything else. Now you guys got to go and win this scenario. Not my problem anymore. All right, which option are we going to go for, chat? Option 1 or option 2? So the day proves uneventful until you head back to your room in the evening to find a small package waiting at your doorstep. Resting on it is another note from the Tinkerer. He thanks you profusely for sending along the mechanical spider, saying it was a great help in his work. He doesn't need it any longer, however, and decided to send it back. He explains that he made a few improvements to it as well, while it was in his possession, and they should help you significantly in your adventures. Do we option 1, gratefully keep the spider, or option 2, you can't decide who should keep it, so sell the spider and split the money. Hey, Islis. Having played this so much, do I find the city road events to be a bit lame? You seem you've seen them all numerous times and know the outcomes. Yes, to some extent, yes. But that's why I let chat vote on them, because it keeps it spicy. Then I don't have to worry about it so much. But yes, especially some of the reoccurring ones that come back a lot, because I played the game a lot, they do come back. If you're playing the physical game, I don't think it's so much of an issue, because you... I don't know, maybe you don't play as many as quick. Like when I was playing the physical game, we would maybe play 1 scenario a session a week, maybe 2 if there were shorter ones. So you wouldn't really remember the city encounters as much because the game was spread out. But now in this version, right, you can just play and play and play and play. It's completely possible to sometimes get the same city encounter in the same session, which is, yeah, maybe bad. So yes and no. Also, sometimes you get the nice ones like this, which is something a bit different, right? Something that comes in from a retirement. So you occasionally get these. But yeah, you're right. They can get a little bit tiring after a while. Get the 10 gold and buy the enhancement. Oh, chat's gone the other way though. Although maybe then we give this to the Beast Tyrant, right? Giant remote spider. You open the package to find a much larger but equally intricate robotic spider staring back at you. This one appears to specialize in scurrying around its user, picking up and returning anything that might have been dropped. Should prove useful. Ooh, or do I get the strength enhancement? Actually, if we sold it, we would have got, yeah, we would have just got 10 gold each. That's fine. Now I'm going to get 30 gold on Shiroi, and that gets to the 100, right? 'Cause she was on 70. Oh, that gets me it. I'm going to do it. So the item, for anyone who's interested, is during your turn, perform a loot 1 action. And it's a burn. Do you think this would be busted if it was reusable? Do you think this would be busted if it was reusable? This is my theory of why there are no reusable small items. Like, why are there no reusable small items? Thank you so much for the follow as well. Islis, thank you so much. Welcome. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to the quest, my friend. Good to have you here. You thought it was a summon? It's actually a loot. Yep. For 60 gold, that should be a loot 2. I would tend to agree. 60 gold, like loot 2 is... If it was a burn, loot 2 is a bit better. It needs to be range 3 if it's a burn. Loot 3, burn. Bearing in mind that you can get this item at any point during the game, pretty much. Well, I say any point. You have to retire the Tinkerer, but... You know, there's potential that this could be an item that your team could get fairly early on in your game. So with that kind of things in mind, you can't have it to be too broken. But I'll tell you what, I think if this was a reusable small item, loot 1, people might actually use it. But ultimately, you're saying, okay, I can sell this and I can get 30 gold now, or do I want to use up a small item slot for a certain amount of time and then maybe sell it for 30 gold later? The small item slot is the most competitive slot in Gloomhaven. It is, because all of the best items in the game generally are small items. So it's really hard to carry dead weight in those slots for like things like this. And for whatever reason, every small item is only single use. And it doesn't really make much sense that this is single use as well. If you think about it, that it's like a little summon thing that kind of scurries around you and picks up loot. Reusable loot 1. I think this could be usable. This could actually be good. Range 1 refresh or range 3 burn. Yeah, maybe range 2. But let's say range 3 wouldn't make it that bad. I guess just the range 3 makes it more obnoxious from a cooperative perspective. You have to be careful with big loots because, yeah, one character can get very, very rich, but it also stops all of the other characters from getting loot. So you do have to be a little bit careful because if you give characters cards that are maybe too efficient at looting, you get a loot imbalance, which I don't mind so much sometimes. Like the Scoundrel's really good at looting, right? But you can get a bit of a loot imbalance, which is not always the best for the game. You have to be a little bit careful with loot actions. But I do feel like this card is just completely unplayable the way it is. It would need to be changed to make it usable in any way. Been watching my YouTubes a lot and enjoy the guys. Well, thanks, man. I'm glad you like the videos. Collect gold for a while, then sell it. Yeah, you could do that too. Like, that is completely legitimate way of doing it. If you do have like a small item slot open, which I do, I would be very tempted to do it. But the thing is that if I can get 30 gold from this, go and buy a really good enhancement. And also, because they've now lowered the cost of enhancements, those things can be bought much easier. 30 gold goes a long way now. I mean, let's have a look and see like what you could do with just 30 gold on a basic card, right? You could just make something like a move. You could make something like Strength and Agony. You know, you can make it a jump almost. For an extra 5 gold, you can turn this into... Now you can turn this into a jump. So that's crazy. Like, for just 35? That's so useful. That completely frees up another slot. That then frees up your boot slot. So then you gotta get a nice pair of boots. Right? 30 gold goes a long way now. Maybe with the old enhancement costs, maybe not so much. But with the new enhancement costs, with everything coming down, like there's just so much good stuff you can buy. Plus move on something important. Like just a plus move on something like on spiked armor, you'd be surprised how much like this would do. It's 40 gold, only a 10 more gold, right? It's that's the other problem that the items are now going to be up against, is now that the devs have kind of done the dirty on them by lowering the price. Now it becomes even harder to justify having some of these items, because you could just sell it and get a really kick-ass enhancement. Clearly, once it's picked up, all of the loot, it's too heavy to move and do it again. I suppose thematically, but it's supposed... Didn't the theme of it, though, when we picked it up, says that it's supposed to return stuff? It goes and picks it up and then returns it to the user. You usually loot quite optimal. I would say that I'm actually a fairly liberal looter, personally. I don't like to loot too much because looting generally makes the game easier. So I tend to not try to go crazy on my loot. Like, for example, it's very rare that you'll see me at the end of a scenario. Kind of like that. Like, I just kind of finished that scenario, right? It's quite rare for me right at the end of a scenario to be like, cool, let's just get a load of XP. Let's get as much gold as possible. We've already won. Let's just min-max this scenario to the end. It's not something that I generally do because I just want to move on to the next scenario. I also don't think it's great content for you guys to, you know, sit and watch somebody just do move twos and pick up every piece of loot in the dungeon. I don't think it's particularly fun to watch. People, you know, you want to get stuck into the action, but also I just feel like it makes the game a bit too easy. But I do try to loot as much as possible as I move through. Playing on increased difficulty as well, loot powers are worth more. So, you know, loot actions can, in theory, get you more money. Any scenarios where you need to loot chests? That's fair. Yeah, that does have some good use there. When you need to use a loot action, you can't use an end of turn loot. You have to use a loot action. Not a bad item for that. But again, they're so few and far between. Is it really worth it? Yeah, Dispamina, I think that's a really good idea. I actually really like the idea of a loot goblin style summon that just kind of trails around. It actually uses loot as its point of focus rather than enemies or allies in any respect. So it just uses loot as its point of focus. So it just goes to the next loot and it'll perform like a loot 1. And that's all it does. Doesn't do anything else. Maybe give it like 1 health or something like really poor, like 2 health maybe. Give it like move 2. So it can't even really move very much. And it loots on its own turn as an action. So there's no other real ways to get too tricky with it. And I like it just be like a fun summon. But you'd have to make it a burn. And it'd probably have to be quite an interesting card. It'd have to be a card, I think. But it'd be at least fun. It probably wouldn't be great, but it'd be fun. Can step on traps and such, so you would have to be smart about it. Exactly. You just make it so that it could focus gold that's on a trap. And I think, you know, eventually you could get to a situation where there's gold behind a trap and it'll start walking towards it. I think that the most likely thing, though, is it just gets focused and killed by an enemy at some point, because a lot of rooms will spawn gold piles at the end of rooms. So if you open a brand new room and there's no gold in the last room you've just been in, quite often the game will just drop, you know, treasure piles behind enemies or in the corners, try and tempt you to go towards the corners, right? So this guy's going to immediately start making a beeline for the corners of the room, which is not good because the enemies are going to be between him and the loot. So he'll probably die. But it'll be quite good to like finish a room, drop it behind you, and just let it loot that room while you try and clear out the next rooms. So maybe it'll end up doing like a nice clean loot of one room or something like that. That'd be interesting. Before it then inevitably somehow kills itself somehow. Anyway, we're going to sell this item. And we're going to get a bunch of money. And we are going to enhance Strengthen on the bottom of either Resolute Stand or Bounce Back. I think probably Resolute Stand because it's the earlier initiative. I feel like I like to carry this card on pretty much every scenario that I play with, just because having this is really valuable because it's basically a kill. It's basically a kill if you time it at the right time. We put the Strengthen on there. Great. Loot Roomba? Loomba? There you go. If someone wants to design it, I think it'd be a really good idea. Hey, Core Maker. Good to see you, buddy. How was your stream? Did you guys have a good RP session today? My trio looks super powerful. This is I'm actually really liking this party. This is like the secret powerful party. We're not playing... I mean, I guess you could kind of maybe argue that these two characters are... they're verging on busted at times, but it feels like you're playing the game quite fairly, but you just have very powerful attacks. Like, there's no... there's no, like, standout, like, oh, yeah, you're playing that character. Yeah, of course the game is easy. You still have to play them well. They're very strong, but you still have to play them well, which is good. Raps like that, he sure is busted. Okay, well, we're about to go. We'll go and check out our boss mission. All right, we'll go check out our boss mission, and we'll show how busted this character is. So which boss do we want to go for, chat? I'll let you vote on this one. Do you want to go Nightmare Peak, or do you want to go Lair of the Unseeing Eye? Right. Which mission? Nightmare Peak. Lair of the Unseeing Eye. Alright. Vote. Which one you would prefer? Yes, was lovely. Looks like we're going for Jaxara's head. Nice. Oh, you went... oh, you did Inox Encampment. Right. Yeah, I can see why that would upset you. Absolutely. Absolutely. The twist at the end of that scenario. It's funny because that's one of the only scenarios in the game that there are actually like complaints about. A lot of people didn't like that scenario because of the fact they kind of got railroaded into what is not a very nice sort of twist at the end of that. That scenario. A lot of people didn't like the fact that they were the kind of put into a bit of an awkward, morally awkward position by that scenario. So I think in the future, they're actually going to avoid scenarios like that. In Frosthaven, there isn't actually going to be scenarios quite like that. I think they're going to, or at least if there is, they're going to make it a lot more player choice. So you actually can engage in it a little bit more rather than being kind of sort of like sneakily led into that situation. All right, Lair of the Unseeing Eye is the winner. Only just though. Do I need to change any of my cards? Well, we could go for the all-powerful Glass Hammer Resolute Stand and try and kill it in a single turn. What do we feel, chat? We'll go for that. I mean, it's kind of got to be, right? Maybe don't even play Blood Pact this scenario because, I mean, it's too risky. We're just going to go straight in with Glass Hammer. Yeah, I like that. Right, how many turns do you think this is going to take? Also, maybe I should spend a bit of gold before we do this. More small items, please. Scroll of Power. Why not? I think that's quite a nice one to just give somebody. Especially for Flurry of Axes. That works out quite nicely. Ring of Haste is actually pretty good on this character. Got a lot of good, like, bottom effects that you want to use. Really good when you're playing Concentrated Rage. All of the rings, really. I am not playing that build, though. Does mean that it's probably more useful on Orlando Doom. We'll buy it on Orlando Doom. And we get a free Doom. This way we can make sure that we get a Doom up and we don't have to worry about not moving. Did they fix the Scroll of Power? I do not know. I guess we're about to find out. I've got 2 of them. Sure. I'll put it on Claw Patrol. I think also Berserker's a good wearer of that too, because it's like a free blood pact. So also has really good value for that. But we've just spent a load of money and we're probably nowhere near at this point in time. To the temple. Make sure we get some blesses in. Got to keep that wealth level rolling. Although we're pretty high right now. Good. All right, Lair of the Unseeing Eye it is. That sounds amazing to hear, but still, we went there for being curious. If Sarah's speaking the truth and Urinox being angry at his own plundering, and then we end up slaughtering people. He's in a dark place now and just wants revenge. Managed to pull off a trample boots, 2-handed Warhammer, my power pressure combo, and disarm from top. Nice. Yeah, it's a very... It's such a really good opening combo. Probably one of the best, actually, from the starting characters. Like, I'm trying to think... I mean, I really love the Unstable Upheaval, Forceful Storm, Warhammer combo. But there's not many that you can... That one you can pull off, like, on turn 1, which sometimes just wins you the scenario. Like, it feels so powerful. You're like... Turn 1, you're put into a really awkward position where, like, oh, there's this room full of enemies and they're on top of you already, right? It's like, don't worry, guys. I got this. And you just poof, smash everything.
And just
Great.
when you feel as though you cannot go any further, you feel its presence.
At least the Unstable Upheaval one requires a bit of a, oh, okay, I need a turn to make my earth, to then get in the right position, to then do this. You can't do it from turn 1. It's like a turn 2, but you have to have the specific setup.
Something old and powerful waits for you at the end of this corridor.
That's how it felt. Yeah, it's really good.
Inviting you to climb into its open maw, embracing the sweet release of infinity. This is what you came to defeat, but without even seeing it. You're filled with unending hopelessness. You cannot even dream of defeating such a creature. You shake your head and attempt to guard yourself.
Don't look it in the eye, chat.
Feelings. You didn't swallow those throat-crushing breathing spheres and swim down to the bottom of the ocean just to fail.
Never look it directly in the eye.
You must move forward. You must destroy this threat.
Gain 7 or fewer experience points. Well, I do intend to do this quite quickly, but no. Maybe not that quickly. I'll probably end up earning 7 experience points from just playing Resolute Stand, which will be awkward. Or Glass Hammer. That could just happen. Another great mission for the swap card. Oh, you could swap the boss, right? Oh, it's got immunity to swap. Oh, come on. Boo. This immunity to swap is like a really weird one. I don't think I've ever seen that. That's not written in the board game, right? I've never seen immunity to swap written on a boss before. Yeah, I've never seen that written on a physical game piece before. I'm pretty sure. Is this because they were like, come on guys, don't just ruin the scenario? Maybe they did this on purpose because they're like, it's too good. You just swap the boss into like the first room and then you just ignore everything else. That's really good. That actually makes the scenario crazy easy. I mean, it'll be easy anyway with the characters that we have, but that would make it even easier. You might get badass spoiled here because you do not play the physical further than the dragon. But I follow my head process and learn a lot. Thanks for being such a genius. Hey, no problem, man. I mean, I wouldn't personally call myself a genius, but I appreciate it. Thanks. Special rules in book cannot be forced to move or change positions in any way. Oh, there you go then. All right. No, it's true then. Maybe it's, yeah, because it's not actually an icon on the card, right? When I think about immunities, I think about the little icons that they print on the actual, the boss card. But that makes sense. Otherwise, it would be way too easy. Pretty possible. Neither of these are possible. So what do? We go resolute stand, strengthen. Can we get there in like 2 turns? I don't know if we can get there in 2 turns. There's quite a long distance between us and the door in the first room. If I had a way of moving the berserker through somebody else, maybe that could work. I guess I could... Oh, I could disorient... I could swap... Okay, I could swap the berserker to here. Then I could get strengthen. Oh my god. This is so dumb. And then we do it in 1 turn? Right. No, we do it in... I mean, I've got these. Yeah, I can just do it in like 1... Oh, I can actually almost do it in a single turn, chat. And I use flurry plus that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do I need more than 5?
Yeah, boy. A little bit spicy.
1, 2, 3. I don't think I need more than 5. I think I can use flurry. And I get the max glass hammer. This is going to be hilarious. I just need to go before 11. I mean, I can do that with my boots. I don't even need to... Oh my, this is going to be so dumb. This is actually going to be so dumb. Spicy play incoming. Potentially winning the game on the first turn incoming. If I drew a ×2, it's possible. Right? I would do... Nah, he's going to have more than... He's going to have more than 46 health. Right? If we're playing 2-player, I think that would actually happen. This shouldn't be legal. Okay, I go late or later than this, and I race to the grave of the boss. And we see if that kills him. So I need to go on like 13. I'm just memeing on this right now, really quite hard. I don't even care if we do this or not. I'm just going for the 1-turn win, whether it works or not. Okay. You remember a scenario where you need to collect the chest from the end of a very narrow, long corridor and the tyrant just ported his bear in and picked up the loot? Job done. Shortest scenario ever. Yeah. This does kind of just break the game, doesn't it? Right? Like, that's part 1. Part 1 done. Part 2.
You reach the final
No! I need 1 more. Okay, right. I'm going to restart.
giant ice once again. But once
Why are
again,
you there?
You may have...
Boo. Boo. Why is this ruining my fun? All right, we're gonna play the move 6. I can't not do it now. We'll have to take 2 points of damage.
Yeah,
that
boy.
does reduce our potential attack.
Spicy.
Actually, I suppose I could use the major healing potion to get it back before I do the attack. Yeah, it's fine. We'll just do that. So we need strength and agony, glass hammer 11. Let's do it again. Oh, this is so dumb. This is actually so dumb. Yep. Add welcome on bottom using the ring. Oh, genius. Actually genius. Oop. Okay. All good. Great. So we need to take 2 points of damage here to make this a move 6.
You reach the final chamber and find
Hello.
a horrible creature.
60 health.
A giant eye stalk with a gaping maw full of teeth instead
I
of
guess we could
knives.
do a rolling. We could get rolling into the ×2, right?
Once again, you feel its influence. You begin to see the pointlessness of your actions. You understand that giving into its warm embrace is the only true course of action. But once again, you refuse.
I
It grows
refuse.
angry at this, undulating its many tentacles in hostility.
Round 2
The room
flurry.
shakes violently, and the corridor
That's
from which
true.
you entered begins to
Well, there's a
collapse.
lot of retaliate in this room. I'd have to be
You
quite
may have
careful with my
resisted its maddening
positioning.
call, but the fight is far from over.
Right. So if I... $25. So I could do up to 50 here if I draw the ×2. They're all gonna hate me because of opening the door with the auto damage roll. I think that'll be fine. I think they can survive a round. Right. 1 round. There it is. Actually insane. Oh my god. Here we go.
No, that's
Ready
a
for
lot
it?
of damage.
Race to the grave. Expose. Ring. Wild command. Skip. Advantage. Lots of rolling cards, maybe? Not the extra target! It's the worst one! Ah, so close. Oh, man. Okay, that's it. GG's, we lost. We did it. We did everything. We did it all. It was a good effort. Oh. It was a valiant effort. If we had a Ring of Brutality, we would have just won there on the spot. Because we could have immediately then just Resolute Standed after the Glass Hammer. So Ring of Brutality, and then we just one-shot every boss pretty much in the game. Just make sure to donate at the temple. Get yourself a couple of extra blesses. You know, up those chances a little bit more. Maybe even get another character to do some passive blessing before you go in. I'm gonna have to burn a card. What? Received 10 damage? Where'd that come from? Is that from this? What? Uh-oh. Rip Bear. Oh, of course, I don't take any damage because I'm in the room. Ready for the ease win? This shouldn't even be legal.
Yeah, boy. A little bit spicy.
Hey, Stiv. You love to watch, but you don't want spoilers. Either way, my YouTube's a great man. Awesome, dude. Well, glad you like him. I totally understand about the spoilers. I get it. This scenario was annoying for your passive Beast Tyrant. Yeah, I can definitely see that. I guess I could miss this, technically. It's possible. Oh, it's on now. I shouldn't have said anything. No. Oh, no. Why? Why? How did I even get a curse? Where did I get the curse from? Where did that even come from? Did these guys do like some kind of... How did I even get a curse in my deck? I don't even understand. All mercs start with 3. Oh, it's a negative scenario effect. Oh, man. Oh. Got hiding it down the bottom there. Unbelievable. This is where I wish I'd enhanced bounce back, because then I could have done it. Well, I guess I better get this while I'm at it. Damn scenario effects. Do we just lose now? I think we can just do another wild command and it'll probably be okay. I mean, I hope. It's gonna go down and then we just use wild command. Hopefully get it next turn. Yeah, we can do that. Oh, that's hilarious though. Oh. Can I teleport the Doom into the room? I only have the one teleport. The other one is just... The only other teleport card that you get is the one that allows you to switch enemies. That's the only one that allows you to basically choose any kind of figure. I guess if I could get this back somehow, but no. It's fine. We'll just wild command next turn. But unfortunately now our... What was our reveal a room tile? Oh, we did that though. That's good. I think we'll be burning a lot of cards here though. Do you need the Tinkerer? The Tinkerer would do it, yeah. The Tinkerer would do it. I just feel kind of bad for She-Roy Jenkins. I mean, she lived up to her name though, chat, right? You gotta say that. She really lived up to her name. And she almost pulled it off. It was a valiant. It's a valiant effort. Everybody's dead. I think I will long rest. If I just miss a couple of these now, it could be kind of awkward, I guess. I don't think that's gonna happen though. We've got the we got expose up. We should be fine. This means we're doing attempt 2 with this stat, right? I mean, in theory, if we just had, if I had put the enhancement in the right place to try and do that, that could have been really easy. That could have been real easy. Nice. We're kind of strengthened already anyway, yeah? This is kind of one of the reasons why boss missions are not the hardest in Gloomhaven, because of strats like this, which kind of just really upset the game. Really upset the balance. +3, plus jump, plus camo on the Doom. This strat on Berserker. Bless everyone. If we had a note, we could have like get some crazy blessers in. Yeah, this strat was kind of interesting. We better hit him. Maybe at least we can see the boss. Pew. Sniped. Absolutely sniped.
Nice.
Very nice. Look at all these deep terrors. Like, I don't know what even happened here. What even happened? And we were gone.
With the giant eye dead, all of its minions wither and die with it. Thankfully, the room stops shaking as well. You can't get out the way you came in.
Wow.
But you're able to explore the
How many
structure
rounds was
further,
that? I want to
free
say
of the
3.
crushing dread that permeated the air
Moved
previously.
in, resolute stand. Moved in, glass hammered. That was 1. Second round, we resolute standed, missed. Went and looted the chest. Third round, we burned all of the cards. So 4th round, 4 rounds. That was 4. That was 4.
It's a long journey, but you find your way out.
Could have
of the
been
trench,
2.
return to the boat, and
Maybe
head back
should have
to
been 2.
Gloomhaven, resolving never to do something like that again.
These stats are so stupid. I need to like vow to never do that again. Because that is going to make a lot of the scenarios going forward very trivial for the rest of the Deadly series, which I don't really want to do. But there you have it, folks. You think we do it again and try it in 2? Shall we? Let's do that for fun. Let's do that for fun. Let's try and do it in 2. Plus, to be honest, I'm quite like the idea of trying to get like another battle goal done on Shivoy. We're getting close. We have to retire these OP characters. So Temple? Let's do it. Let's do it in 2. If we had to bring a brutality, absolutely could do it on the first turn. And in fact, we can still kind of do it in the first turn, right? If we got really good draws from
stone structure beneath the waves for what
the Doomstalker.
And just when you feel as though you can... something old.
What I'm thinking is that maybe for the Doomstalker, I should actually play into the ×2 more. So instead of using Race to the Grave, maybe I should just use Rain of Arrows, because that's going to make that a +2. And if we get a ×2 off of the draw, that will be enough to kill it that round, right? Probably. We could figure that out in the scenario. But that could be another way of doing it. Use no items during the scenario. Nope. Maybe counter to a... Oh! Is there a heal up to full value? Right, there is, yeah? I mean, I don't need a lot of these other cards. So, maybe? I need to use items. We have the Doom that does 2 damage, like Super Wound. Yeah, we're using Race to the Grave, but I feel like maybe it's better to go Rain of Arrows to try and attack. Instead of attacking for, what was it, 2? Or maybe it was 3. We'd instead be able to attack for like 5. And then we get the ×2, right? And that's the 10. Also, I think I can probably bless. I can bless the... Sorry, not bless. I can strengthen the Berserker with the bottom Ring of Haste on Claw Patrol. Yeah, no, I can definitely do this. We can figure this out. Yeah, we can definitely figure this out. See you, Core Maker. Good to see you, buddy. Have a great sleep. Right, so we know exactly what we're doing. We're going to swap. And we're going to do this. Doesn't really matter. Then, actually, no, we're going to swap afterwards. We're going to Ancient Ward on 19, which technically we're going to take down to 9. And we are going to Natural Remedy on 25. Then we're going to Glass Hammer on 11. But we're going to Strength Dagger on 37. So we should technically be afterwards. We're going to go down to 9 anyway. That's fine. And we know we're going to go for Expose and... Should we just... let's go for the win. We're going for the win, right? So I think I want to go Rain of Arrows because this gives me that +2, which then means that this is an attack of 4 with the potential to draw ×2. Right? It's either the guaranteed 2 damage or I'm going to have advantage. So I just feel like it's going to be 2 damage anyway. It's pretty much irrelevant except for me drawing... I guess unless I draw like a... No, even if I draw like a +1, it doesn't matter. If we're trying to win in 1 turn, it makes absolutely no difference if the 2 damage comes from Race to the Grave or from this. If it had shield, it would make a difference, but it doesn't have shield. So I guess we don't have to worry about that. Yeah, this is definitely the better way to optimize it. You need to go there. Oh, actually, no, you don't. We're swapping you in anyway. It don't matter. Doesn't even matter where you start. You start wherever you want. -10. 22 to 2022 to today or tomorrow for you on a Tuesday. So I should really do it in a 2. That's creepy. I didn't even realize that. That's really gonna like play on my mind now. So what a weird syncing up. That's got to be like a once in a couple of 100 years or something type deal. I wonder what the date will be on 2222. Will that also be a Tuesday? Do your work, chat. It's a very important question. Will 222222 also be a Tuesday? It will be a Friday? No! Why? Cool gods. Why? Or so your colleague told you? I distrust them. Right, so now we've got the strength on already, so we don't need to use the goggles. This is important for the turn afterwards. We're gonna go this. We know we need to pay 2. In we go.
You reach the final one, but what
Yeah. We've been here before. We know what we're doing. I might not draw the ×2 now. That'll be awkward. I've even got blesses in there. Oh, we still got 2 blesses as well. Ooh, baby. First turn. Here we go. First turn, boys. It's coming. Can feel it. What command? So we're going to attack for 4. I guess we need to rolling +1 into the ×2. Easy. All right, slightly disappointing. That was pretty much the exact same draw that we got last time, was it not? Rigged. Rigged. Yeah, come on. Seemed like the same draw. Yeah, I swear we drew the extra target and then just like a couple of, +1s or something. Felt very similar. A bit sus. Yeah. The exact same draw. And that played the same ability. I'm sorry, Bear. Right, so now we use the goggles. Resolute stand. We get the other chest. See you later. Or I could Flurry of Axes everything, I suppose. But I feel like it's more fun to Resolute stand it. Actually, I want to go super late. Do I? I'm just not going to be able to do this. I'm thinking I'm not going to be able to From the Brink. This is where you need the Ring of Brutality. Then I could From the Brink. Just in case we need to actually do any of these, but we won't. We absolutely will not need to do any of these. We absolutely will not. And if we do, then we've done something terribly wrong. We've somehow we could draw double curse draw, I guess. Double curse draw. Ooh. There was one. Yoink. 2 rounds. Scroll of power not working. Oh, that's a good point. It never gave us the option, right? It never gave us the option to use it. I guess that is wow. Affirmative then. Also, if you wanted to farm XP, I'm pretty sure we've probably got about 20 experience points on our Berserker in 2 turns. Pretty sure that just happened too.
Wow. I mean, I could do that. He's getting all like killing monsters like that. That's easy. I could do that myself. No problem. Don't know what all the fuss is about. I've been doing that for years. I've been doing it for years. Who's saying, oh, doing it in 2 rounds? Outstanding issue. Summons will also use Scroll of Power at their first opportunity. What? Oh, the greedy gits. Nerf that into the ground. They are insatiable thirst for power. The bear must have more power. There must be more. Did the Berserker have a death wish? I mean, yeah, it's very noble, but she's not going to survive. Nice idea. But now you're dead. See? Very, very dead. Oh! Well, there you go.
With the giant eye dead.
I mean, I still think I could have done better.
Die with it.
I still feel like I could have done
the
better.
room stopped shaking as well.
2 turns, I could have done it in 1.
You can't get out the way you came in, but you're able to explore the structure further, free of the crushing dread that permeated the air previously. It's a...
Yeah. What? 14 XP. Crazy. 2 turns, 74 damage. That is not too bad. I still think I could have done it quicker though.
Just can't let other people have a victory, can he? Can't let other people just always trying to be better than everybody else. I mean, it feels really cheesy to now be like level 9 after that. Feels kind of gross. Can I not accept this level up? Feels kind of gross. But, I mean, there's an example of many ways as to why Gloomhaven is kind of broken in certain aspects. We won't be doing that again. We will not be doing that again. It's too good. It's too good. It's too easy. It removes the challenge. So my boss missions, I think, could just be harder and should be maybe a bit harder. Just made a bit better and a bit harder. We can do it in one. I mean, we can probably do it in one. We just need one more item. If we had Ring of Brutality, not even close. Not even close. You walked into a room with the Berserker and killed all the enemies with a single flurry of axes. It's something else. It is. She's very, very strong. But she's strong, but she's like not... It doesn't often appear that she's doing anything completely broken. But then you get to scenarios like that and it's like, okay. Now, we did need another character to enable it, right? We needed somebody else to actually do it. It wasn't just her on her own. But you could play that scenario fairly honestly, clear out that first room, and then just do that combo, but like on rounds 8 or 9, right? Just kill those lurkers. Just play a normal scenario for that first room. Kill those lurkers, get your loot, move towards the door, and then just go through and do it in like 2 turns from that point. You don't need to necessarily do it the way that I did it. That's super, super fast way of doing it. But even if you didn't have the setup with the other characters, you could easily still do like just a resolute stand or a glass hammer and just do it. And get them to like 10 health. And then any normal party at that point in time will just be able to easily kill them for the rest of the round, right? Not too difficult. Right, level up. We will level up, but I don't feel like this is well earned, but there you go. So level 9, we got Immortality. On the next 4 sources of damage to you, suffer no damage instead. Really, really dislike... Well, I really dislike this card in general. But I have many problems with this card in general. But the top of this is such a weak effect. Such a weak effect. What would be better is to have, like, maybe you get to choose. So if there was an option here where you could choose, like, whenever you take damage, you may choose to suffer no damage instead. Move the thing. That would make it... I mean, it wouldn't fix it. It'd still be probably pretty bad. But it would at least make it a little bit more interesting. Instead, this kind of counters everything that you care about this character does. And I just really dislike it. They're like, it's just really bad. Yeah, Blood Pact for the next 5 turns. Exactly. Stops you from being able to play Blood Pact. Stops you from really spending any health on your abilities because you really just want to take it as tank damage. It's just really bad. If you had the choice to choose, I think at least then it would be playable in some way and you wouldn't get that bad drawback. And it would be a fine, level 9 kind of effect. But just, I just hate it. Or on the next 5 sources of damage that would kill you. Also would be fine, which is what Defiance of Death does, right? They could make like a supercharged Defiance of Death, maybe. Might be a bit better. The bottom, move to shield to self, retaliate to self. I don't actually mind this ability only when you are playing the meme build of Spiked Armor. Which is kind of funny. And I have defeated a boss using this strategy by just using the music note to give ridiculous amounts of retaliate, doubling all of my retaliate, using all of the retaliate items, and just letting a boss hit me. I've managed to kill the Headless Horseman boss from in Guildmaster is technically where I did it, but it's the same in the counter as the campaign. So it's possible. It's pretty funny. It's pretty memey. And you use a load of curses as well to make sure that you don't actually take much damage. So you curse everything up with music note. Then you start using this. You use echoing aria, and you just go crazy with it. And it's slow, but kind of fun for like a fun little side build. But it's really not good as a card in general. Also, this kind of effect generally you want on a low initiative, which kind of sucks because most of your low initiatives are actually you play them for the bottom, not for the top, right? So if you have a look at our low initiatives, generally speaking, we play this for the bottom. We play this for the bottom. I guess actually if you were playing Spiked Armor, you'd probably play this for the top. But the problem is the Spiked Armor, you need to play it. It's for the round. So yeah, I usually use this with either a second chance ring or a ring of brutality to get this out. So yeah, you need to do some trickery there. I guess maybe you might consider doing all-in retaliate with the top of bounce back, I guess. But glass hammer, maybe use it for the top, but probably not maybe for the bottom most of the time. And also, you're probably not playing glass hammer every scenario anyway. Spiked armor, again, you want to play it. This one, I guess, works well with it, just as a 1-2 punch on 16. I guess that's okay. But I just kind of wish this was a lower initiative. I think it's fair she doesn't have a strong level 9 card, giving her level 7 exists. Well, my problem with her is that she just doesn't get... Like, she doesn't really expand on her mechanics at higher levels. It really annoys me. So, like, more of madness here. Attack 3, target all adjacent enemies. Muddle, perform a heal to self action for each enemy damage. And this is just like, oh, now you don't even need to care at all because you're now going to heal as well. This can heal a bunch of damage. And when you use something like spiked armor, you can move in, attack everybody, and then attack everybody again. It's really, really good. 10 initiative as well. Like, it's... What happens with this character, which I kind of dislike, is instead of building upon the mechanics of using your health as a resource, they instead solve those problems by giving you either cards that don't use that mechanic or giving you ways to heal yourself that kind of stop you from having to engage in it. Like, now you don't have to worry about it because I can heal, right? It just makes the character easy. And there's a couple of characters like this. I feel like the triangles is another culprit here. And Eclipse. Two of those characters are massive culprits for this too. Well, at level 1, it feels kind of interesting because you're powerful, but you have a certain set order of things that you need to do. If you don't do them, you're going to fall apart. So it becomes quite hard to play. And then instead of maybe making... keeping that kind of trickiness of play going, they just hand you cards that make the build easier. And then it just becomes easier and easier and easier and easier and easier. And you feel more powerful, of course, because now you don't have to worry about what cards you're playing. Now it's just like super relaxed. You don't need to worry about, oh, I need to play this one, then this one, because I need the element from here, or I need this to do this. No, you can just be like, oh, all of my cards do everything I need all the time. I can literally just shuffle my hand and play 2 cards, and I'll be fine. And that's kind of like some of the problems I find with the character design at high levels of Gloomhaven is that they just take away what made them fun and unique and just make them easy to play. It's just there. You'd like to see them rework the character cards as an expansion. Yeah, I'd be totally down for that. I know that Rage has mentioned it before, and that I think they even did a video on the Spellweaver, I think, or talking about, or the Tinkerer maybe. And I think it's an interesting idea because although the characters are still fun, I just feel like a couple of characters could really do with just a bit of a rework, just a retweak to make them a bit more interesting throughout the entire play experience. Like, I really, really love the Berserker up to level 5. And she's one of my favorite characters. She's in my top 3 favorite characters because she's so fun to play, like, up to level 5. You get Flurry of Axes. Flurry of Axes feels like you're level 9. Like, you get there and you're like, wow. And you have a lot of fun. And then every other card after that point is just, oh, make your life easier. Oh, just do damage this way. And it just makes the character so much more bland. Like, every level up after that point. You're playing Eclipse at level 9. You really wanted to retire, but still need to fight your way to another boss. You're so bored of this character at this stage. Nothing is a challenge. Yeah, that character is very problematic because it's very one-dimensional. You can try and play it with more of the invisibility build, which is a bit more fun, a little bit more varied, but then you're intentionally hamstringing yourself, right? Like Doomstalker, you like to see either a single focus murderer machine or a multi-target status dropper. Yeah, like I guess like the summon trap sub-theme that character has really doesn't work, does it? The double doom is interesting though. I actually feel like that build is kind of it rewards really careful planning, but it can fall apart really quickly without you having much input. That's the kind of bad thing about that build, is that when it works, it feels awesome because you've planned everything out. The dooms are jumping around. You feel like a badass and it feels really cool. But then all it takes is for one enemy to move away from like the range 2 of the pack of enemies, or you're in a really big room, and it just kind of falls apart. And then then you just feel like you're playing a really kind of bad build. It's kind of weird feeling to look at leveling up and think the enemies are getting stronger, but I'm not. Yes, I mean, cards do make you stronger. Some cards in particular. But in general, leveling up is not as strong a power creep as items or enhancements. Like gold is the real power creep in Gloomhaven. That's really what is making your life easier. Is gold. That's why looting is quite important, and why the best thing you can do as like a new player is to just try and get as much loot as possible. Like, even if you're failing scenarios, just try and get a load of loot. It'll really help you out. Just get you a pair of boots, or, you know, a stamina potion or a power potion, or, you know, a piercing bow, warhammer, all these early items that really help out. You're playing on +2, so you also don't want to play bad builds on purpose. Well, a lot of the fun is sometimes playing bad builds and trying to make them work on increased difficulty. That can be fun. But if you're playing multiplayer, then maybe your friends are not so down for that. Maybe they're like, no, I would rather try and win scenarios. You played Eclipse without a single XP card and still liked it. It worked fine on normal. Probably doesn't hold up on higher difficulties, but it's still super fun. Well, I know that Gripe's been playing it on Deadly, and he's been having relatively good success. He might have retired it now, right? You know, he's obviously an incredibly good player. So, he was playing that build on his Deadly playthrough. Now, whether or not he did it intentionally to obviously hamstring himself in some way, you know, he knows it's too strong. So, and it's not going to challenge him to play that one. And I think he did pretty good on it. Gripe is Gripe. You don't think I'm on his level? I don't think anybody's on his level, to be honest. I think he's on his own level. I mean, he's played the game for so long, and yeah, I mean, he just knows the game inside and out, like everything. Isaac, maybe would you be surprised to know? Would you be surprised to know that Isaac is actually, I would say Isaac is a pretty normal, average Gloomhaven player. Maybe that's a show that he puts on for everybody. I don't know. But he actually is a pretty like just average dude. Like he doesn't look at the game in. I mean, I'm sure he does behind closed doors. I'm not part of that like playtesting. I mean, you know, and obviously he's incredibly smart and he knows the mechanics of his game very, very well. But my impression with playing with Isaac is that he's pretty chill and he doesn't really. Maybe he just chooses to not engage with the game at that level. I don't know. But certainly, I didn't get the impression that he was like, you know. He was like just having fun, like, and just playing the game how he feels. And Brambeard, they play with him regularly on Tuesdays, and I'm pretty sure he plays the same way when they play together. Like, maybe he's consciously doing that a little bit to not lead the game in some ways. That's pretty possible. But I also get the impression that he quite likes to just enjoy the game as a whole game. Like I don't get the impression that he really. He leans on others to give him maybe a little bit more advice on like the fine tuning. I think he's very good at finding like the general, like the design of the characters and things like that. But maybe the fine tuning of certain numbers and things. I think a lot of the playtesters have a lot of input in that. Like, I mean, I might be completely wrong with that with Isaac, but that's the impression that I got playing with him. Is that he's a pretty chill dude, and he doesn't like to lead games, at least, by saying, "Hey guys, we should do this," or, you know, we were playing and he wasn't playing like perfectly. Like, even sometimes it's hard to, you know, you maybe would expect that he would be playing perfectly, and he wasn't. He was just having fun. He has retired his Eclipse. His party is now Circles, Cthulhu, and Brute. He's a bold man playing Circles on Deadly. Bold man indeed. I mean, there are some good cards you can play. Obviously, Thorn Tutor is still a good summon, so I'm sure you can still make elements of it work. But that is a pretty... Circles, Cthulhu, and Brute definitely have some weaknesses. There's not a lot of control on Circles. there is, well, it's a bit of a mobilize, I guess. There's a little bit of like control on brute. You know, you got the trample warhammer combo. You got some things you can use, so I can see a little bit of that. But and he's also not particularly the strongest tanking character, and has lots of little attacks, which generally don't scale amazingly well early game. But when he gets a bit better, depends on the kind of build that he goes. But the brute can output some good damage, but he just isn't very good against shielded enemies sometimes. I mean, he's got skewer and stuff, but still, I feel like a lot of the times you have like skewer and that's it. And then Cthulhu is I would say Cthulhu is a strong character. So you know, it's not like broken tier. I mean, it can be with certain pairings, but I feel like it's generally like just strong tier. It's got a bit of control, got a good level 1 stun that's ranged, and you've got, you know, lots of poison, lots of pure damage to get through shields and stuff. So good ways of dealing with some types of enemies too. I feel like it's an underrated attitude to have as a game designer. It makes you more focused on what an average player who just has fun will see than a pro who's optimized for hours. Yeah, I think you've got to approach the game. You know, approaching a game in a way that you need to find the fun, right? That's what a lot of people like talk about when they talk about games. I like find the fun of the game. And there are going to be people that take the game to certain extremes. You know, there's going to be players who min-max the game, who want to find every edge that they can. They really want to go for that kind of element of the game. They want to play perfectly, and that's how they want, and they want the opportunity to do so. And you're going to have players that really are like completely the other end of the spectrum. They don't care. They literally are just there for the, you know, for the company of their friends and the story that the game is telling and that they are playing out. You're not, and finding somewhere in the middle, like hitting that middle part, is really important, where you kind of hit everybody in between and people can take it either way that they want. You don't want to have a game that's too far up here because it's going to be too niche. There's going to be too much towards that type of player. And you don't want a game that's down here because then it'll be maybe a bit sloppy and it also won't appeal to me. You really want to find that sweet spot of just, you know, fun with enough design space for people to kind of take it in different ways, right? Anyway, speaking of like more of madness, we'll definitely take more of madness. I think it's easily the better card than this. The heal on the top is great. The bottom is also very good actually, and it's a ranged attack, which is nice because this character sometimes lacks in that. But we can a huge ranged attack with immobilize. That's pretty good. I don't really like playing any of these cards. Like, it feels to me like we've got way too many good cards with this character, and yeah. To be honest, I should probably stop playing Blood Pact now. It's really probably not worth it. And the thing is that I would love to play both of these two cards too. I just don't have really much space at all. I think this is probably as good as it gets. Maybe we would drop Bounce Back or Strength and Agony. But Strength and Agony, once you enhance Jump, I think is just too strong a movement card, really. Alright, let's do this. Quickly do this. Do we really care about healing? I guess so. We're probably going to want it more than we don't want it, right? Right, level 9, you have Jaws of Death. Kill one adjacent normal enemy whose current hit point value is less than or equal to 6. I generally don't like this because I feel like if a lot of the time, if an enemy is on 6 or less, you can probably just attack it. Now, there are some enemies that, obviously, they have high shield. So it's very good at killing certain types of enemies. Really good at killing, like, flame demons, potentially. But I found it most of the time, it's like, oh, can I not just attack something for 6? And as if you're playing the concentrated rage build, that is like easy for you. Like, it's not hard. So I just I don't love the top, but I guess situationally it might be usable. The bottom, attack 2, push 3, move 3, attack 2 is really good with concentrated rage build. So I guess like as a package of a card, it's not that bad because this is really, really useful and usable. Very good. And this is kind of like, maybe like every now and again, there's an enemy that falls into this criteria and that you might find it to be a good use. So I don't really love it, but it's got a great other half of the card, so you're probably going to end up taking it. Tribal Sigil is it's funny and is a kind of a... I'd use this for my big one turn kind of builds where I try and go all in on one turn. Inferno in one turn, try and destroy an entire scenario, stuff like that. This is like a combo piece in my opinion, more so than anything else. I don't feel like this is really playable in your average build. This is a combo piece and you're specifically taking it for that purpose and no other reason. That's it, you know? I would not advise taking this as like a serious like summon that you want to play with. You can find a spot maybe on a boss mission to drop it down, but again, I just felt like all this is doing is buying you maybe a round or two, doing something a round or two quicker. And usually when you're talking about doing something a round or two quicker, you're talking about combo builds because you want to try and combo something off. So yeah, not a serious choice really. At the bottom, recover up to 2 of your burn cards with summon actions on them. This is one of my pet peeves. I really dislike cards like this that have a really negative trade-off, right? This is a double burn, by the way. Both of these things are burns, and they're permanent, like, lost burns as well. So you can't get the Spirit Banner back for whatever reason. That's what this means, is basically it's a permanent. It's gone. Once it's used, it's used. But you're trading 1 card for 2, which means that you're actually only 1 card up on the deal. And you've wasted a bottom action. So you've wasted a bottom action, so potentially half of a turn, especially on a character that can make really good use of their bottom actions as well, by the way. This character uses their bottom actions a lot, and they can be very, very useful with the Concentrated Rage build, right? It's like what you do. So you're giving up a bottom action. You're giving up 1 card to get 2 cards back, which is netting you additional card. It's terrible, terrible value. It's such a bad proposition that I don't see how anyone could ever play this. And also, to make it almost worse, they have to be specific cards with summon actions on them. They can't be any 2 cards. Just to like really put the final nail in the coffin and make this card terrible. Like make this action as completely terrible and unplayable as possible. Like it's... I don't understand. Honestly, I really have no... I don't understand how this card ever made it, or this ability ever even made it into the game. I really don't. Stuff like this, I'm like, they must have like come up with it, and then the game had to be released, and they just never got round to fixing it. That's the way that I see cards like this. Because any amount of playtesting would have just brought up that this is just awful. Like, just awful. And that's all she wrote. That's all she wrote on that one. Extra target again? Sure. Although we haven't really managed to use that to its good use. Right. City encounter to finish off, chat. Get your votes in. Which option are we going with? I cannot spell. Which option? Option 1 or 2. So you head back to your rooms for the night when you see the Sawbones. There he is.
Now that's a lot of damage.
Hopefully not with the chainsaw. That'd be a bit worrying. Sitting in front of your doorstep looking rather dejected. Well, you see, he stammers, I followed your advice, chased my dreams and all that, but I ended up in debt to some rather unscrupulous people. They threatened to kill me if I don't pay them off, but I simply don't have the money. He hesitates. Seeing as how you bear some responsibility for setting me down this path, I was wondering if you'd be willing to offer some assistance in getting me out of this mess. Unbelievable. Financially irresponsible Sawbones. Do we, option 1, offer to pay the Sawbones debt? Or option 2, get the Sawbones on a boat across the misty sea. New adventures surely await there. Option 2, everyone's like, see you later. Push him out. Push him out. See you later. That's respectable. You flatly refuse to pay off the Sawbones debt and convince him the only way to escape his pursuers is to board a ship bound for the eastern continent, far out of their reach. He is reluctant, but eventually agrees when you remind him what unknown adventures await in the land across the ocean. You see him off in the night and desperately hope that that is the last you hear of this situation. Are we going to get some like debt collectors banging our door looking for him now? I've never had the Sawbones quest before because I didn't play him in the physical game, so I've never actually had those quests come up before. Okay, so there we have it. That is episode 18 of the Deadly series done and in the books. I think at the end there, I was just sort of showing like how broken some characters can be and how good they really are with certain kind of abilities and things. Some of these abilities that are in the game are maybe a little bit too strong, and so yeah, it can really put a dampener on some of these kind of scenarios that are meant to be quite hard towards the end, or the idea is at the end of the kind of campaign it's starting to go towards like this kind of crescendo, if you like, and then you kind of start to mow people down quite quickly. That's maybe a bit of an issue. So I don't think we're going to see stuff like this maybe in the future in like Frosthaven and stuff. Stuff like this probably isn't going to happen. They'll probably stop this kind of thing from being possible. Certainly this combination of characters is just really, really good at boss missions, and I think we'll probably have to retire them really before we go to the final boss, to at least give ourselves a nice honest challenge and a bit of a sweat right at the end, because otherwise it's going to be way too easy. If you did enjoy the video, please do like and subscribe. It helps me out so much here on YouTube, and I really, really appreciate it. Also, come over to twitch.tv/mandatoryquest every Monday, Wednesday, and Sunday. If you would like to catch out some of the Deadly series live, I usually play it on Mondays and Wednesdays. Always on Mondays, sometimes on Wednesdays. We flex it on Wednesdays a little bit with other fun streams that we might have ideas for. But yeah, come by the stream if you've got any questions as well. Okay, all that's left for me to say is thank you so much for watching. I will catch you in the next video. Bye.
I think he's still, yeah.
Oh, that's the blessing from Jeff.
Yeah.
That's the blessing from.
Isaac, at this point, can we get your approval to add an additional attack modifier deck for allies in the digital?